Some call it landscape, and some people call it.
Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I'm your host, Adam Dunn.
I'm Dave Charnick.
And I'm Katie.
And we're live in the studio. Full studio today, I should say. We got Tony, and we got Ken in here from Single Source, Colorado.
Not to be confused with the Ken from the Barbie movie. He's the different one. Just in case anybody looked over and thought so.
Hey,
because
Ken on the show.
Yeah.
And of course, we got Vinny Dropperino over there. We got. Oh, there. Hey guys, we're on a show.
Mark.
Over here,
And our
by the
shitty
way.
Jamie.
We already started taking off, dude.
You're like totally not paying attention.
They clock in and take.
I mean, he literally took his headphones off before he finished that lick. Holy fucking shit.
They can't wait to not participate.
Exactly. 100%.
Vinny, we're going to talk about barbecue,
and I heard a rumor that we might even see Mr. James Loud in the house.
I was
No
just gonna
way.
say, is that James Loud that's coming through?
We're all here.
He might. He's out gallivanting around,
I love
looking
it.
at grow. He's at Eden today. I think he went to see.
Okay.
He went down over there, check out their operations.
though. Wait, he's in Colorado?
He's right here in Colorado.
What the fuck?
I joined him yesterday on
That's pretty cool.
a Oaksterdam breeding class. I was in there throwing my 2 cents in.
I
Everything.
love it.
Wait, Oaksterdam is here in Denver?
No, they were doing it online. It was an online course of breeding, but it was cool. It was fun. It was like
Yeah, because
it's
if Gail
because-
came to Colorado and
No, the
didn't come
best
and
part
say
was
hello.
is that James Loud had
Problems.
all the slides figured out, which is always a
He's
disaster. That's where I always screw. Oh, yeah, it didn't work. Something's wrong. So he had all the things ready, and I just had to kind of come in there and spice it up a little bit.
I love it.
Sort of like how I do this show.
No, I didn't. I
wait
didn't.
for
I didn't.
you to do everything.
I didn't like try to cut him off at the knees and completely fuck him up. No, I actually tried to enhance the thing. I was an enhancer.
Wow.
Anyway, so we are live. Everything. This is okay. By the way, Tony is a virgin when it comes to podcasts.
Hey,
Right.
So
Papi
this is his first one. So
Don't
make
do
him
anything stupid.
Put the pressure on him. Everybody, ask lots of questions.
No.
But and have you done podcasts?
Yeah, I've done. This would be my second. Yeah,
All
so
right.
not quite my first.
All right. So.
Now we're talking.
So I interrupt you all the time, right? That's part of the job. So my job is to completely talk over you, make sure that you don't get your points through. Yeah, right? I'm really good at that. But no, I'll try not to.
We are a yo-tip family here, so this is how we share joints. Everybody gets a yo-tip. You keep the tip. You pass the joint. It goes in with a little twist and pressure.
We've managed
All
to
right.
not get sick from the show for
Years.
Okay.
Years.
So
Cool.
No
Yeah.
hippie lip for any of us.
All right. I like that. Sweet.
Well, you're not going to get it from this session. You might have hippie lip already.
This man.
You might be.
Oh, I'm so excited to.
and this is a Katie Bear production, by the way. So
Yes.
So
Guys,
Thanks,
I'm bringing
Katie.
you all the people you definitely want to hear from.
I was going with the landlady production. Sounded
I like Katie Bear. I was going to tell you thank you. I love when Katie Bear.
No. It switched back and forth twice or 2 times. I was like landlady production. I was like, nah.
right.
Let's make it
That's
sound
why.
a little nicer.
That's why I didn't.
I'm the landlady and Katie Bear. That's
Yeah.
what they call
Okay.
me around here.
Alright.
So
What strain was that?
this is, like I said, I'm new to producing shows, and I'm very excited.
Sour
The
papaya.
landlady
So
'cause you're the boss.
this strain is called
Thank you for
Goddamn.
saying that. Thanks for saying
Okay?
I know all about
I'm
it.
excited.
This is the new name. What were you calling it before I changed it?
sour papaya.
No, is now Goddamn. Holy shit.
Nice.
Here, you want
It's got some old school terps on it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Fine
I mean,
vibes.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. It's like before there was names, we had just like you just get the bag, you smell it, and you go, oh yeah, that smells good. And there's certain things that are still here, but there's not very many of them. There's very rare and hard because so many other things got gelatoed out or whatever. Everything got
Runced.
kind of like.
Do you remember the LGS back in the day, lime green skunk? So I went to CSU in like the late 90s,
Okay.
and we had some amazing cannabis up there then. The cough,
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't get Dave going. Please.
He's the
the Northern Lights.
That's
number
all he
5.
cares about.
You
That's
like
all
the cough?
That's all he wants.
How do you not like the cough?
That's all he
Anyway,
wants.
I was
When were you
smoking
gonna
this sour
come in and-
papaya the other day, and I had a nostalgic kind of LGS
Moment there.
moment. I was like, this is kind of like and we would give it like that baby shit, like
Oh,
you
now
know,
you're talking my
now
language.
you're
Okay.
speaking his.
See,
Fluffy
you went from his thing to my thing right out of the gate.
yeah,
He
and
planned that, Adam. He planned
It's
that.
dirty,
He totally planned that.
mango diapers. That's mango baby
mango
poop. That's
diapers,
the thing you
exactly.
want. Mango
Right.
baby poop
Not in a bad
was
way.
like that was like the holy grail of
Right.
the
We
moment.
We talked about this last week, how people
the
come in and they're like, oh, it's so fruity and so yummy. It's like, no. Show us that Indian diaper terps.
The dog
You know,
shit.
we want to try that one.
Yeah.
I don't know about the dog shit, but Indian diaper terps, you know?
I just want all
Yeah,
the
dog
savory,
shit's
all the
off-putting.
funky. Yeah,
Yeah.
anything off-putting. Give
Well,
me
that's
that.
what the cough was. It didn't smell like weed for a second. Somebody would you'd put your nose up to it, and you for a second you had to do a double take the first couple of times you were smelling it, and then you never forget.
Right.
And that you will, right in heroin, you chase the dragon. For me, I've been chasing the cough now for, I want to say when my friend JJ moved to Florida, it's been 10 years.
Yeah, I
Since
haven't
you've
seen
had
it
it?
in
Yeah.
forever.
no
10
one has
years.
it.
Yeah.
Or they have
You
some
always
strawberry
hear-
cough bullshit version. Or
Oh no,
Thank
that
you.
I never ever. It wasn't strawberry and it wasn't cough.
Yeah.
It was neither of the two. So that's one I chase, and I also chase the one. What did you say it was? You said it was probably an original headband. My northern from Petrolia from the '80s.
hash plant.
Hash plant.
hash
Oh yeah,
plant.
that
Okay,
you
yeah.
can't go wrong.
Speaking of headband, this is one of our favorites.
Oh yeah,
Lupus
Lupus
headband.
Yeah, for sure. He got mad at me because we had a headband, and then it was like the headband wars were going on.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we hear
Wasn't
that
it
a lot here.
707,
707.
818, all that stuff.
I like this one the best. Oh,
The moment you have to put your area code on it, you are not the sole proprietor of those genetics.
Agreed.
But people come in here all the time, and we've done a dozen shows on sour diesel and
Yep.
where it came from, and I personally don't. I've said this. I don't care.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the Bro and AJ had sort of a Cold War going on and always trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the consumer is the one that benefits from it.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
As long the moment they get complacent, then you wind up with what was that genetics company we laughed at that made its burn through MJ BizCon like 3 years ago? They tried to be everywhere. Royal Crown
Royal
or
Queen?
Royal Queen, and
yeah.
you just once you lose that I really care about what's in my catalog,
Yeah.
then you just become generic.
Well,
Yep.
and then headband. It was funny because headband also back in the day was a descriptor. It was like one of those
Sure.
like and
You get
that's exactly. And
Wait,
that's
you can't hand that joint to her. Once you
I'm
hand it to her, we'll
passing
never
back.
get
I've
it
just
again.
enjoyed the terps for a moment.
It's we never get it again.
But
once
I
it goes that way.
always liked those things because it was when we cared about effect. Right now everything's named because people go for the names before they go for the effect. So they're always kind of focused on like, oh, what's hot? So I'm going to take this hot name and that hot name,
Yeah.
slap them together. It's got to be good, right?
Yeah.
And it's like usually it's hard to get that to match up to what you're thinking. But when you're working on effect, it's awesome because it's like, whoa, you're right. Like it did it exactly what you said happened, and then it's like, ding.
I
And
think you're right. I never really thought of it that
to me,
way.
it's like a winner. Like that's why I like when testing this stuff. You're like,
So we have the res sour diesel,
oh wow, so
Ooze?
85%
Res-
sour
res-
basically is
wow.
what we're talking.
and the flour's amazing. It's one of our top flour strains, but the concentrate that Ken makes out of it,
one of my favorites.
it's pretty crazy.
I mean, sour always makes really greasy. Like it always when you're making hash back in the day, just
Yeah.
water hash, it would always be like
Not the most stable, that's for sure.
yeah. And it was, I mean, it was awesome, but it was also like almost like concrete aggressiveness,
Yeah.
like solid. Like
I
it
think
would,
it was a lot of like when people started, at least like when I started, there was so much sour diesel around, especially like in Northern California and stuff like that. So it was a lot of people's like.
where are you from originally?
I'm from Arizona, but I moved here 20 years ago.
Gotcha.
So when I was like 16. But anyways, yeah, it's like when I was first starting to make hash, it seemed like everybody first like, oh, I've washed sour diesel before, and I think it kind of put people off from washing for a bit because it was so like greasy and like
Yeah,
like,
it
is
would
like
clog your
this-
screens up
is it
type
this
shit. It was like
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So-
like which in the end you realize like that's good.
There's
It's a
way
good
worse,
quality.
too.
It's like the harder it is to clean after, probably the better. You know what I mean? If
Right.
it kind of just that just kind of came
Yeah,
off
that
like it
kinda
was
shit-
Yeah.
like well,
maybe
that sucks.
not financially or.
And it's like when you're trimming. It's like when you're trimming too. Like you'll get
Quality,
like
yeah.
when you have that shit, which just it's hard to do everything. Your scissors, everything's
and
sticking,
you gotta
Yeah.
clean your
and
scissors.
you're annoyed by it. But then later you'll get something that doesn't have anything,
Yep.
and you're like, well, actually, this is even more annoying because now I know that this shit ain't gonna be so good.
Well, if we're running something new, Ken will just go up in the garden and late flower and just feel it. And go, oh, it's sandy or grainy, or this is going to be a dumper.
Yeah.
And then this one's too greasy. He's not going to work. And usually he's got it pretty much nailed.
And that's kind of what I was getting to when I was doing the description, because I was looking at your IG page and I was like, God, you guys are going through a lot of stuff, which is one of the things that I like back in the day was like when you found something that worked, you stuck to it because you didn't know if you're gonna like if you had something that people wanted and you'd monocrop that whole thing, you know what I mean? And now, especially when you got to do a retail, it's about having as much variety because everybody wants what you don't got or what's like, I heard about this, and you're like, fuck, 3 months later we'll have it, you know what I mean? But what stood out to you over these last? Because you guys started about 7 years ago or so. So. Yeah. Has anything lasted from the beginning? Like, did you have anything that you started with?
You were like,
go
first?
Go ahead.
Okay, so there was a few things that.
Get right up on that.
There's a few things that we started with because when we started, Tony had his own thing going, a llama brand, and he had his own cuts that he had like kosher kush. He brought in the sour, the Lumpus headband, a lot of that stuff. But I think the first thing I brought in was like GMO, and we did some seed hunts with this slap and tickle here. That's GMO grape pie.
Yeah.
And that one's been around since like the beginning, I feel like.
That's a banger too.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
That's like
and that's one that you guys
yielder.
made. You guys made that cross?
No,
that's
it's
Colorado.
It's from Colorado.
Yeah.
Well, we hunted it.
Wait, Colorado don't they have a relationship with the Requiem guys?
They might.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You tell me.
Yeah.
I am pretty
Mr.
sure
Goff?
that they know our friends on Hell.
Well, that's where the spritzer came
in
from.
Barcelona.
From him too, so
Right.
he's
For
always
sure. That's Tim Ray, right?
He's one of the few people who has managed to do the exact formula that I just said, which was slap anything that sounds good together. But he keeps pulling it off. Where a lot of times, if you were getting a watered down version of something and then trying to do it.
Yeah.
But I think his sourcing is really good too. That's the key to the whole thing. Is get good.
That's the ashtray.
If you
We're
have
kind of like
good material
half
to
and
work
half. I guess I source a lot. He sources a lot of genetics as well, but I do a lot of seed pops the last few years. We used to do them in the metric facility to do them the right way with testing and stuff is
so much
really
money and waste of
very
time.
very expensive.
Very expensive.
You're like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Like 20% was good to get 20% that were actually washers.
Yeah.
What we popped.
Yeah.
That was like what we figured was a pretty good percentage.
And at the beginning of our company,
And also, like you said, you got to test each one.
yeah, number
and you
4,
only have
number
that
7, number 10.
exactly,
yeah.
and then you're like, well, we don't even have anything to work with now. Like,
and you got 1 plant or 3 plants of it or something. Yeah, it's the worst. So when we first started, everything was based upon like all our genetics being washers. Like kind of that was a big thing,
We didn't do any flour, just all hash.
I thought you guys were only doing hash.
We
so
were.
the flour is like literally brand new to me to see from you.
Yeah, we've been doing the flowers a few years now. We kind of had to
This is so
pivot.
cool.
I guess that's what I'm getting at is like post-COVID, like during COVID, the market, at least the rec market, med market was really stout. Like everyone was buying. Everyone
had
was doing
$2,500 a month
Exactly.
Everyone was
extra.
smoking
Free
weed
money,
at home.
like-
Yeah, exactly. So it was great for us. Then like post-COVID, everything kind of changed. People weren't making as much money or getting free money, like you said. So we kind of changed our dynamic and we started doing like pre-packed ace joints, and we had to kind of just like get more,
I mean, I think
involved. In the,
to be quite
in the
honest, that
market.
is the formula nowadays, though, because
That's what people want.
it's a lot easier, in my opinion, to be consistent with hash as it is to be consistent with flour, because
Correct.
it's like, you just can't, because it's summertime, wintertime, different crops, different things. Anything any little hiccup along the way is amplified.
Yeah.
Whereas with the hash, you can kind of do the opposite, where it's like you can. It's funny. It's funny though. It's funny because you guys are single source. So do you ever do like mixes in your single source? Like you ever? Because are you 100% like it has to be
strain dependent
Yeah.
or anything? Like, no, I brought a few mixes if you guys want to try them too. We were forced
I always
to
call those
same
melange.
kind of thing.
I always
It's
say
like,
that it's a melange.
Yeah, it's like
sounds very classy. It's
melange.
melange.
I should put that instead of a mix of melange.
The melange.
Yeah.
Melange day. So yeah, we do make mixes, and it's mostly based upon just production. Like, so say if we are trying something new and you're like, oh, it does wash, but there's only 10 plants of it, 12 plants of it, we'll mix it with like another 10, 12 plants of another strain or something like that.
Okay.
And if you compare it to like wine, right?
Yeah.
Like
some mixes don't work out. I'd say.
well,
Most
also,
of them do,
but also a lot of times it's like the mixes is where it's at. Like that's the you
See,
you know
that's
what you're
what's
doing.
that's what's funny. I think about the cannabis scene, at least here, is people love the mixes, but as a hash maker, it's
can't
like
replicate it.
completely to replicate that exactly is almost impossible.
Exactly.
That's
So they're like, but
mix.
just do 50-50. I'm like, well, it doesn't work like that with just the way we grew the amount, and it
Whoa.
just does.
sometimes-
It's still never gonna taste like that. You
That's a
know?
14er?
No, it's a mix that he did since he was talking about mixes.
Yeah, and I
of
just
the
call 'em
True OG
whatever.
Platinum Kush mints here, and then the Laser Jet, which is jet fuel gelato and GMO,
Yeah.
which is one of my faves.
But as far as that was a long-winded answer to your first question. Is like I guess Slap and Tickle, Poontang, GMO, Sour Diesel, Headband. What am I missing here? Those are kind of our flagship. Like we always trying
We've
to
got the Brain OG.
Brain OG. Yeah.
We had the 92 OG, but we lost that one recently.
We had the Hells OG for a while.
And the Hells.
That's kind of our like mission, our statement, or like drive as a company is like quality first, but we like what we like, which is more old school kind of things like sours and OGs and chems
Well,
and
it's good
stuff like
because
that.
it's like very hard. I mean, especially with the OG, like once Pink House was gone,
Yeah.
and like they held down a lot of OGs for a
yeah.
The
little while.
planetary ones.
You know, and exactly they were in that whole series, and then it's like everybody sort of drifted away, and nobody. And the thing is, we already know it's not the most rewarding plant sometimes growing, and there's always issues. It's a little, that has a little.
Doesn't
more,
wash well.
It's harder to make moms sometimes because they don't really branch out the same. Like it's like, oh, this thing every time you cut it, you
They're
get one.
finicky.
You get
They're
one more
finicky.
cut. You're like, I should be getting two. Like I should be doubling up, but it's just the way it's got that viney growth pattern. You know what I mean? So
Right.
those can be. So I think over the years, people just kind of always thought they're going to be there, and now it's like it's kind
They're
of
rare.
it comes back.
No, it's like back. Yeah.
I mean, I like that though too because it's like fashion. If you have a certain style and you stick to it and you don't keep chasing it, it's going to come back around at some point. You're going to be like, dude, I got so
I
much of
appreciate
this.
the
20-year
craft.
term.
I don't have
yeah.
to spend any money. You guys
Yeah.
are out there buying a
I
whole
got
new
all that
wardrobe.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, that's all I got.
We call it, I think, like you were saying earlier, it's like kind of to survive in the market. It's like the last few years too. It's I think you got to like, and just being a brand in general, you have to have like we call it like the Coca-Cola model.
Yeah.
Whereas like you got to have your Sprite, your Coca-Cola, your orange soda, whatever, like your flagship things. Call it 8 to 10 strains that we always have in rotation. But then we'll pepper in things that we either like or have hunted or have acquired.
How many lights you running right now?
90 flowering lights.
90 flower.
So it's nice and small and easy to work with, I'm sure. And
Not too bad.
Yeah,
Three
not too bad.
30 light rooms of flower.
yeah, which is funny because that's like if somebody asked me like how big you'd want to go, I'd say if you go over 30, you're pretty much losing on the edges. You know what I mean? Because 30 is like a good number. It's always solid.
Right.
It's kind of what it was like a big room back in the day.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's a small room these days, big room back in
Right.
the day. But it's actually super manageable with a couple people. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal.
Yeah.
Whereas once you get above like a couple hundred lights or something, it's like, you're not treating them as well.
Yeah.
Because just
Sure.
physically.
I feel like there's only like two sides now, at least in like the licensed market. It's like you're either like a smaller micro, like we are, or a smaller micro grow, or it's fucking huge. It's Walmart.
super
Yeah.
I don't think
It's
that
tra-
huge can compete. I think if you
No.
want to go huge, you have to have multiples of small rooms so that your SOP could just stay
Yeah.
manageable.
Yeah, but they don't want to
right?
do that. The thing is, it costs so much more money when you start doing that
Correct.
because you're like, okay, now we need to
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
that
more
much more
irrigation
like especially
lines
the
and
air
all
and
that
all.
stuff.
You're like keeping everything separate. So most people don't think that way. I always, if you did do that, it'd be more logical to do like breeding and hash because I think those are the best combinations because you have to
Sure.
process all the material anyway.
Look at you giving away the secrets again, man.
Whatever. I'm just saying. But the problem is, well, here's the problem here in Colorado. There's only so many people that need seeds. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you really run into that, like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you can outgrow that real fast.
Right.
It used to be a gray area too, like say doing seed pops in general, because they like, where'd you get those seeds, or
Yeah.
Well, now they're totally.
but
now
now
it's
it's
so
Yeah,
easy.
they
you
opened
can
it
like
up on that.
yeah, they've opened it up thankfully. So
Well, it was always open. You just had to play the wink and the nod game where every licensed can of business, regardless of what you did, had 100 bags of seeds
Oh, yeah.
with
In a
1,000
safe.
seeds, and they were all labeled something. And that kept them in metric.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, when you needed a seed,
It's in the safe.
you just had it.
You're a smart guy.
There it
Yeah.
is.
You're like, there it is.
Fucking love it.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
thank my guy for putting them in the safe like
Exactly.
that. You know, but
No,
I
that's
like
how you-
that
that's
now
how
you
you
don't
source
have to
shit
wink
back in
and
the day.
nod.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, and then again, like that was always like the who the fuck is making these rules situation.
I've always
'Cause
said that.
you'd
I was
be
like, who
you're
are
like,
these people?
What do they try? Why? Like, I'd always compare it to a restaurant too. I'd be like, so if you opened up a restaurant, would you want me to figure out the whole menu and never change the menu? Like, you can't do it. Sorry, I can't get potatoes. I forgot that one.
Or have to grow everything on the menu yourself.
I can't do that.
When you just said
You're
who
vertically
made the
integrated.
rules,
Yeah.
all I saw was what was that spoof Scream movie where the guy was Doofy? It was like an Arquette brother or something like that, and he just played the dumbest. He wore it said
Yeah.
police that he wrote on paper and stuck it up. That's like if we walked through the MED, all the offices in the caverns, and we finally got to that door where the guy who made the rules is, and you open it up, and
that
there's Doofy. You know,
With the dunce cap.
that's exactly what I saw. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There is no logic to the way
Well, it
they
was
make
and
these
we
rules.
always bring it
There's
up
not
too.
a lot
It
of
was
education.
what was it? How many? It was 6 plants and how many? 2 ounces.
6 plants, 2 ounces.
2 ounces. It was like, so how do we even do
Wait a
that?
minute. What do you mean it was? It still is.
Whatever. It doesn't. Again, it doesn't make any sense. You're like, so I have to take 6 plants. I can only produce 2 ounces. Like out of like where? How does this even make any sense?
And then
have to
have
be
no
bad.
baby backups to
And
be
no
able to,
backup, right.
you know, keep your keep it
It's-
going.
It's it's like.
Stupid.
But every so often, like a new state will come on and be logical about it, and you'll be like, "Oh, look, they don't even count fucking
Like
veg
Missouri,
plants.
they
Like,
let
they
you
don't
actually
count,
use the mail
Yeah.
service to send orders.
right?
Like, you can't do that here. You have to have delivery.
Well, you know what though? But we were the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We'll wear that
We've
back.
lost our
We were the
luster.
first. What do you mean? We're so good at what we do. We decided to be the first,
On the first
and
day
then
of-
keep the menu the same, just like Adam said.
On the first day of rec, I went with Derek and a bunch and everybody, and we went down. I don't know, we went to some stupid spot, and we were standing in line. It was starting to rain. I remember it was like raining on the day, and we're like, all we're here for is the receipt. I just want to get the receipt, go home. I'll put it in the wall. Done deal. It's over. And then right when we got to the front of the line, the guy put the thing across. He goes,
We're out.
"We're done for the day." I was like, "No, dude!
No
I just
way.
stayed in line for an hour and a half, sitting there.
Oh,
with-
that's terrible.
I couldn't believe it. It's like, yeah, the
That
classic.
was the $9,000 pound day. That was something else where everyone talked about everyone. They didn't miss an opportunity to speak to any microphone or any media person to tell them, "Oh yeah, it was $9,000 after we grammed the pound out," and there was so much money being thrown at the industry back then. People didn't know what the fuck to do.
That's
when
why
they
it's fucked up.
I
Man.
was like, that's why we're here.
I know. And then you start like rub it in, get some salt out. It's like fucking rub it in.
they would go ahead and write up their little their deck, you know, to raise
Yeah.
capital, and it would say, "We're going to sell cannabis for 10 years at $5,000
Yeah,
a
good
pound
luck. Yeah,
wholesale."
yeah.
And when I started laughing reading these decks, they'd look at me like, "What are you fucking talking
Oh
about?"
yeah. That's
We're-
the thing I explain to people all the time. It's like everyone thinks it's such a, we're over here really raking it in, and it's like, well, what other industry? I guess if you really see, and it's like, like you were saying, the pounds were 9,000, and now they go down to 700.
7? You can get them for
I
7.
was gonna say
we
7,
have
huh?
some to sell if you can sell them at 7.
Sure.
That's
You know.
what the state AMR is.
That's what the state believes. Yeah.
$698 is what the state says
Crazy.
a pound is. And that's what they base the taxation on.
Right.
But yeah, that's a whole other story.
I mean, there's pounds that are cheaper than that.
Way
you can get
cheap.
cheaper pounds than that. for
So
sure.
I
nuts.
I hear the same complaints from the apple industry. When an apple farmer sells their apples for a different price than the other one, they all pay the same ridiculous tax.
Yeah. Well,
No,
see, that's a
that
good
doesn't
point, yeah.
happen. That only happens in cannabis.
Yeah.
That would never happen. You can sell your product for anything you want to sell it for.
Right.
This is so ridiculous. This is
That's our
doofy.
life, actually. It's like the excise tax. That they charge us is pretty crazy. Like, and Tone knows more about it than I do. He deals with that on the daily.
More
but
sleepless nights for Tom.
it's yeah.
much
Thank
so.
you, Tom, for that. But yeah, they charge you 15% off the top of the
for all rec.
for all recreational.
That
So,
leaves your grow.
most 15% is like in a lot of industries can be like your profit margin,
Yeah.
15, 20, 30%, you're like, wow, we're doing decent, but that's straight off the top for us. So it's like essentially the government, the state, whatever you want to
So
call
at
it.
the state value,
is your
You know, the
partner.
mob only took 5%.
That's
from
what
the
I'm getting at
casinos.
here. Yeah, it's a pretty high tariff
Okay.
or whatever you want to call it, a VIG.
Yeah.
So at the state
But
percentage,
look at Michigan with their 24% on top, just slapped on.
that's the sales tax? Or
Yeah,
well,
for
that's
the-
what the sales tax is essentially here, too, I
Yeah,
think.
But they
Yeah.
just added that on top for
Really?
the roads.
Oh, wow.
The excise tax is
Give it to the
illegally.
roads.
Excise
You've
tax
driven our roads?
is essentially like a way
Mountain
to
roads?
tax illegal drugs technically to the federal government, right? It's like an illegal drug tax. And they call it an
Every
excise
time
tax.
anyone comes on the show and talks about taxes, it makes me feel good knowing that it will never go Schedule 3. They're not giving up those
They just want
taxes.
the money, yeah.
They don't mind taxing a Schedule 1 substance.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to keep it the way it is. We're going to get our wish, and it'll be the status quo for some time now until
Yeah.
saner,
I'm
cooler
sorry if that
heads
was a
prevail.
spicy thing to bring up. It's just something we live
What are
with
you
it.
talking
No,
about?
that's
on
a
a daily,
part of
and I-
it.
Have you ever watched
fucking
our show
hate it.
before at all?
Yes,
I mean,
yeah, I've seen a few
okay, so
episodes,
Spicy's good?
Yeah.
How did you two connect? How did you all?
Katie. They
I'm
said they didn't
curious.
want to talk about that. It was in college. It was one time. They were really fucking
Shut the
drunk.
hell up. I was like, do I hear something?
It's just like, oh
That's
shit.
funny, dude. That's funny. Here, are you itching to
Neither
roll
one will
something
admit
up?
who was
Yeah.
the top.
Looks like you're itching to roll up
This
something
man,
again.
I'm
right?
like, give him
Try-
something.
Oh, shut up,
to
Dave,
do.
and roll a joint.
Roll this up.
So Ken mentioned that I had the previous company Llama brand cannabis, and we were processing with the company Ken was with, CSC Concentrate Supply and Nomad, for medical and rec. You know, solventless hash processing was like, no one else was doing that then. What year was that?
It was like
Nomad
Two-
Brent, was that Brent?
2017.
They're still around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. Just in a smaller, they do like some pens and things like that. But yeah, I think we started competing and working together in 15 or 16. 16 for sure.
So he was doing solventless processing for the Llama stuff, and we decided to enter some comps, and we won the hemp connoisseur with the kosher witches.
Yeah, it was a mix of kosher kush and witches weed. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then we were sitting around, you know, hanging out.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
all over that.
That was
You should have had some female rabbis in the photo for that one.
Yeah, the Rooster Cup, the Dope Cup. We started
hell
doing
yeah.
pretty good.
And that was when,
Oh,
you know,
good old
solventless
Dope
was in
Cup.
its infancy. There was a few companies doing solventless.
No, Ken, you've been around doing it for a while.
Yeah. I used to do, just like you, like the cannabis cups and like compete in those, like when they were awesome, you know,
Are
and they
you
were
still
around.
teaching your classes? Weren't you?
No.
They were awesome.
I haven't done classes in a
were.
long time, and yeah, if you used to go and especially compete in the cups, and if you've been to Amsterdam and competed in the cups, that to me was like the ultimate. Like that's how the first year I started, I had the blessing of like when I started making hash in 2013, and then I went in 14 to Amsterdam and competed and got to meet Soma and Robert Clark and Bubble Man, and it was just like it was the coolest time of cannabis for me, at least for my age, because it was like an open market essentially. There was all these cool breeders coming out. It was like a worldwide thing now, where it's like everyone kind of has like their own, at least in my opinion, like isolated scenes now. Whereas like before, it was this thing where you'd go around and everybody'd see everybody in each place, and it was this whole community. And that's how I started competing. And then once they left here, it just kind of sucked. What was that, 2014 or 15? I think was the last one or something.
Yeah, and they really didn't. I mean, it was so.
Then they did them in the dispensary.
They tried. Remember, they were talking about doing it down south at one point because they were like, "We can't do it in Denver, but we're
Yeah.
gonna do it." So I was like, "Dude, no one's going to Pueblo to
Nobody.
fucking just like it's not happening."
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like
Right.
land in Denver, then you're like, "Wait, we have to drive hours to what?"
It's
then
only
they,
4 hours.
And then they get there
We're
and
gonna
it's
go
like,
east of Pueblo.
"Oh, we're out of here, dude."
Yeah.
There's like, yeah, exactly, East Pueblo.
It just
is the
used
worst.
to be a different, like, that's why I got into it. I was a chef, like, and I went to culinary school and all that stuff before, and I was super into that. And then,
Well, that's just funny. That's why I always tell people, like, if you look at hash, think of it as like cooking because
yeah,
it's all
it
about
helped a lot.
not understanding cross-contaminations issues and keeping things organized and
Yeah.
moving at a certain pace so
Yeah.
that things don't just get stagnated, because you can't just be like, okay, now I'm going to smoke a joint while this thing is cooking. You know what I mean? Like,
No, no.
And that's how people would make hash. They'd be like, oh, I'll just turn the thing on and walk away. And you're like, dude, you got to like be on top of it. You got to be like watching
I didn't
everything
think
that's
about
happening.
it like that. It's like kind of like, when things changed and like, people started like making like ridiculously like white hash or whatever. I'm like, how the fuck you do that? I didn't get like cigarette, or ash in my hash like most of the time. Or whatever,
Have you ever
know?
heard Adam tell the story about how he used to get growers to come in, and he would process for them. And the deal was he only gets the first 15 seconds. They can have
30.
the rest.
I got 30 seconds.
Okay.
30 seconds. So I turned it. Was when
That's
Mila
awesome.
first had her pollinator.
Yeah.
Right? She brought it over
That's
to
a
my
good
spot
deal.
in Amsterdam, and it was like I put it in the fridge. I figured
Yeah.
out, I got to make it cold. So people just brought garbage bags. People were just like constantly bringing garbage bags to my spot, and a lot of times it was like, dude, this is garbage. Dude. I was like, I'm not even gonna waste my time. You can have it all, but if it looked good, I'd be like, all right, here's the deal. I get the first 30 seconds, and I'll put it aside, and I'll
And they
just
don't know, like,
and then
they're like,
like, really? I'm like,
only
yep.
30?
And
Oh,
then
good deal, good deal.
How long do you work on that?
And then it was like the difference between like their shit was always green and horrible, and then I was just like couldn't even get it off the thing because it was like melted on there. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay.
I was
You
kind of
probably shouldn't describe. I was trying to, at least I made you look good for a second. Then you just totally threw yourself under the bus.
That's
there.
what I do. Hey, none of those people are gonna remember him at this point.
What year was that? Mila's first.
94. I think it was 94. Maybe 95. Could have been 95 because I was in the CIA for only 2 years. Not the CIA, but the CIA.
okay, sweet.
That was our spot. But in general, yeah, it's cool to watch. So you're obviously doing pretty much water hash focused on most everything.
Yeah, at least I'm solving this all the way pretty much. Like I had some times where back in the day making some BHO or something like that, and I helped like manage the concentrate supply co and stuff like that. So I've definitely.
Are you doing dry sift at all, or are you just doing?
No.
Playing with that yet?
It's like once again, it sucks because yes and no. We can do like whatever we want, put out whatever we want, but like we were saying, the market kind of dictates sometimes what we put out, and time constraints and stuff like that. But we do put out some melt sometimes, and I don't feel like a lot of companies do that anymore. We'll put out like an ounce or two sometimes and stuff like that. But
and that kills me too because it's like everybody got so focused on rosin that like I'd see product where I'd be like, "Dude, really? You're gonna turn that into fucking rosin?"
Yeah.
Like I'd see, and
Yeah, I'm always begging him to do more melt, but
and
that doesn't sell that well.
yeah,
it's just that people. The problem is that most people don't have so I have this is specifically just to smoke melt because it's like I double screened and make it smart.
I love that.
Because if you're trying
That's
to do
how
it
I fell in love with it.
it's because what happens is people are like, oh dude, Chaz my banger up. It's like they don't want to. It's like don't smoke it that way then. Smoke it the way we used to smoke it because it's not the same thing. It's even though there's going to be some more plant material in there, but sometimes you'll have it where it's.
I guess that's been the good and the bad of the industry from my side of things because it's like when I started, it took some sort of like it was an SOP and like a kind of like a recipe that you had to follow, but you had to be like artisan at the same time. It's like, so how I started was we'd use microplanes to dry hash, and like you either used microplanes,
which is a real pain in the ass because it's constantly back and forth, back and forth.
yeah,
back
and you got to
forth.
freeze it, and then your hands get hot,
and then you got a few seconds, and then put back in the freezer.
It's horrible. So
I know. To me, it's like one of the reasons I stopped.
And that's why that's why at the beginning too, it's like when this scene, the legal scene or whatever started going, it's like everyone was like, you're not gonna make money making that because only 5% of strains wash at that time, like at least viable enough to make a business out of it.
Yeah, when you start to do the numbers sometimes, especially with like when you appreciate your level of hash, you're like, dude, there's no way I couldn't even see how this could make sense because there's
and the only
so much
sellable
other
microns
material.
are like
what do
the
you do with
best
that?
of the best,
What do you guys do with all your secondary stuff? Do you guys make edibles or do you have any kind of lines where you sell it to somebody else?
We've like sold it to companies to make edibles, or like we've done like we're trying to put out like new like RSO, like solventless RSO has been like a thing lately.
Okay.
Oh.
See, once again, it's kind
ASO,
of like
activated solventless.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't know that was the
asshole.
Perfect.
Now I like it even more.
Tony's asshole over
But
here.
thankfully, and that's I guess like a good point you brought up and why single source was started because Tony's ass.
We don't immortalized in the industry. Of everything you've done, every brand you've worked with, they're just going to know you by Tony's asshole.
I have a funny logo that's like, can't really tell what it is.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that a butthole? Is that a butthole? No, holy shit.
God damn, I love you.
Wait, that's Tony's butthole.
Tony loves this shit.
Damn.
I forgot my train.
No, but that's because
We're
to
very
me
good
that
at
was
that.
always the biggest problem
solvent
of making
this
hash
RSO.
in general is that I was always like, I want that first. I figured it out. I want that, and I don't know what to do with that.
Well,
You know what I
especially,
mean?
You
like-
want to use everything.
and then
like, you know?
and but I'm like a purist in that way too. Like if I'm trimming weed and I see stems that look cool, I'm like, I should keep that stem for so I could use that. Like I don't want to throw nothing away
Yeah.
on the plant if possible.
Yeah,
It's always nice.
I definitely have like the chef hunter, mentality. We're also hunters as well, so it's like the use everything, keep everything.
Right.
But yeah, I guess that's why single source started, because I was just like a nomad hash maker that would go to all these different grows and be like, let me test your shit. And like, I'd give them freezers, you know, like anything I could do to just
help them
yeah,
figure out
and like what this is fresh frozen, like that was a big thing too. Like,
plus people
like that was a huge thing. And it's like they're like, wait,
What?
oh,
you know?
it's like the first
and
time
you
you
got 3%.
What are you doing with
it's
it?
the first
Yeah,
time you
that's
make
decent,
it's even when
you
you
know?
make the first time making bubble hash, like showing people, they're like, wait a minute, you're putting that in the water, like what the hell's going
No,
on?
I
like,
tell that
have
story
to
all the
do
time. The
that
first
because
time I ever
can't
made
get-
hash, I was like grabbing weed out of the freezer.
Yeah.
Pounds more than I've really ever, you know, I used to sell pounds, but it was a lot. And then it was just like it was frozen, and then you put it in a fucking washing machine. I was like blown away. And that's what I think I fell in love with it too. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then getting like 4%, and like, well, actually 4% is like 20, and, you know, like, and
Yeah,
you have
'cause-
to like convince people of the math. They're like, no,
Yeah,
remember
it's
when you grew
times
it,
4,
it
like-
was 1,000 grams, but
Right.
now it's way less. You
Well,
know?
it's also like the difference between having to, once you realize you don't have to dry it and you can harvest it
Mhm.
and immediately freeze it and then
Less trim
process it. Then
crew.
2 days later, it's all
Right.
processed and out the door.
Yeah.
You're like, well, that was way better than trimming and waiting and then trimming again and then
Oh,
waiting
yeah.
and then fucking
Yeah.
Curing,
bagging and
trimming.
curing and
until you
opening
get
and
1%,
burping
then
and
they don't
da,
like
da,
it
da,
at
da.
all. Yeah,
Oh yeah, and then that's the other.
then they fucking never do it again.
That's the thing too.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing is, and because like you're saying, we understand that strain specific. Back in the day, it was kind of like, why is this one not doing that? You know, and of course you could see it if you see the plant. It's got like resin falling
Exactly.
off of it. It's going to be a washer
Sure.
because that's.
I used to get calls all the time, man, Ken, this stuff is so covered in resin.
Yeah.
You got to come check this out. And then you get there and it's like the greasiest thing ever. And you're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
going to be awesome, but not for my process.
Yeah.
You know?
So the truth by Deadhead OG that they do for me at 14er does not rosin. It just does not. BHO's fantastic.
Some of the best flower
And I
strains
think, and I think also OGs are really bad for like making
Mhm.
hash back in the day. I was used to like always came out a little more
oil
green,
content,
a
yeah.
little greener too. Like
Mhm.
color was
Sure.
not the nicest color.
I
Yeah.
haven't even looked at this one
And
yet.
so sometimes
Check
it was
it
like,
out.
this is weird, but it's a flower. That's the thing. You have
That's-
flowers and you have hash.
That's why
flowers.
exactly we started working together. Long story short is when he was open to experimenting, and then like once we started winning competitions and stuff, we became friends, and like it was just this easy relationship where it's like, okay, we can be analytical and get data and like trust each other and kind of move forward. So then when we got this grow, at least at that time it was just all hash influence. So it was cool because I was just a nomad hash maker, and I couldn't make A, money, or B, a sustainable product that would be on shelves, you know, like that people,
because you're going from spot to spot.
yeah,
It's
and
like-
it wasn't a single source product, I guess, too, that like I could put my name behind that everything when we wash it does well. So that's what I was getting at. You're like, well, what happens with the green stuff? What happens with the dark stuff? It's like, thankfully that happens 4 or 5% of the time, you know, which is,
well, you've honed in on what. You
yeah,
need.
it's
I
like,
remember you were
know,
worried about that. You're like, we got to make sure our grow's like
Yeah.
dialed and ready because we just started this brand new grow. We're like, we're gonna grow just for solventless, and he's like, we got to make sure this is, totally dialed in. And
He's like, dude, it's gonna
It-
be
it
fine.
did.
We're growing all the strains, you know,
Oh,
that we've
fuck
already
yeah.
washed, like
Yeah.
everything else. Like you don't understand. This is a new grow. We're doing different shit, you know. Like it's like I've just never washed weed from that we've produced together or like that we've done in this environment. So, I mean, pretty much until we pulled that first patty, I was like, oh fuck, thank God.
yeah,
We just washed 10,000 grams of GMO. Yeah.
and we did our first harvest of GMO, and it was like the most purple buds of GMO we've
Almost
ever
black,
pulled.
yeah.
We had a mixed spectrum of lighting going back then. We had CMHs checkerboarded with HPSs,
Okay.
and like
Still
that
my favorite,
F1
right,
room
yeah.
threw down.
Yeah.
Remember, we had our boy TK come and help us harvest, and we
Yeah.
were all, just
And
amazed at
that's
this
why the
purple
CFO
GMO.
comes in and says, do the same thing again. Don't change anything.
yeah.
I want the same. Oh, but wait. I need 20% more.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's your lighting that you're under now? Are you
Now
guys-
we've converted to LEDs, which everyone's really getting pushed into in our industry. Honestly, I know people.
It's actually it's funny because they're like Cali, because of Cali's restrictions on everything and being all anal about it. Doesn't even matter. Everybody there's switching back over to HIDs now. They're like,
Really?
fuck this. We
I've
don't
seen that.
because
Doesn't do anything.
it's the type of resin that it produces, and it's just
Sure.
like it's a little bit. It's more conducive to putting out real fucking like medicine in a sense, because there's something missing there. There's a little bit like, even because you guys are running, what are you running, Acetex still, or do you guys?
No, we started with those when I was at Llama.
Okay.
Was the S-Tex, and you still use those at the crib sometimes.
Yeah, I
right?
still use
Because I saw that on your thing. I was like,
Nice
okay,
free
that's-
lights.
But
Well,
we use Sunscapes right
they
now.
were-
Sunscape LED.
That's what we're using.
I was going to say
Yeah,
out
we
loud.
use
You should
Sunscape,
try
too.
Sunscape.
Yeah, that's what we're
You
using
know,
too.
Jen?
Fully tunable.
Jen's our boy, yeah.
Yeah,
Jen's
yeah.
been to our facility numerous times.
Well, here we go. Now we're talking.
There, you can tune the spectrum on them, so
Sure.
it's pretty legit.
That's what I'm running.
And he's about to bring out some water-cooled modules. I didn't even tell you about this yet.
Ooh.
He's got like these water-cooled adapting modules or something that
Heard
help
about
with
that.
temps.
Heard about that.
But he's a pretty, Jen's
I
a
guess
great
that's
dude.
always
He's
just
good.
been our philosophy,
good
is like
lights.
a full spectrum of light, and that's why like the checkerboarded back in the day was our thing too. It's like, well, I'd seen amazing resin from like 315s, like the ceramic metal halides and stuff.
I really liked them too. They were awesome at the moment when they came out,
Yeah.
but they definitely didn't have the
Faded
depth. They didn't have.
Yeah,
the,
exactly,
They didn't have
yeah.
the penetration that
Exactly.
you needed.
So I wanted that, but like with HPS to like get the yields we need, the biomass we need, and stuff like that. So the checkerboard kind of worked out really well for us till we switched.
And are you guys? How much are you tuning yours though? Are you going like?
It depends on.
Have you been?
I keep
playing-
it pretty standard from each color spectrum, but we
I've been
figured out.
I've been
the
doing the
percentages.
classic stuff. I've been doing the classic like, fuck it, I'm going all the way up. And then I'll drop my numbers down a little bit, and then I'll play with it from
At
that point.
100%, we were getting like
I don't go.
toxic PPFD.
Well, I'm not going
like-
100% on the
Okay.
output, but just on all my colors. Like I'm just slamming them all the way to the top, and then I'll start fucking around. But I think I always
we try
feel
not
like
to
I'm.
tinker too much, because
I
on
already-
the commercial level, dude, you'll fuck shit up real
Oh,
easy.
I know. To me, I always compare it to like
We're small family.
to like
with
equalizers
business.
back in the day, right? When we were like everybody
Yeah.
had these crazy stereos with like 700 slides,
touch your
and you were
slides.
like, I just did a power V. That was my whole thing. Power V. You go drop the middle, and you go whoop, and there you go. I'm good. But then I go to my other guys, and they had everything tweaked out, and it was like, how many mistakes? None of us are real sound engineers. We're just saying what we think is good. You get a real guy who goes in the room and stands in the room. He'll be like, you are completely backwards here. You know what I mean? And I think with
That's
light
probably me.
spectrum, it's even more, you have to really sacrifice a couple crops almost to get to where you're comfortable. And you can't do that in a commercial situation, because you're like, we're going to
That's what we're
fuck
getting
around.
at. It's like little by little. Yeah.
But like with red, I feel like that's the one you can fuck with the most, because it wasn't around before. We didn't even have it so much.
Right.
Now everybody's added a lot of far red in there. So all of a sudden you're like, okay, well this one definitely promotes stretching or not. Like that's an easy one to kind of fuck with. Everything else, I'm not really sure what to do. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
but I think Jin would be really good about crowdsourcing information from all of his clients and what he did in his test garden in Portland,
Right.
so that
Oh, no, we know
he's
he
good
would.
about
He's very good
disseminating
at
the
sharing
information.
But
You
so
know,
He's
strain
like a
speci-
crazy scientist, dude.
it's
Have
so
you seen
strain
what he-
specific, and it's so room specific.
Has he shown you his spearfishing fish? He dives in the ocean and shoots fish with his spear like these crazy.
I
I'm
didn't know
not
that.
surprised.
Yes,
I am
dude.
not surprised.
I was like, what, bro?
He came
find some
through
pictures and
a
show you.
Calyx facility in Eugene, Oregon, when we bought a building back in like 2012, and all he was doing was surveying the market to see what the market would eventually need, and then he built for that. And he got in at such the right point in his technology development that he pivoted to rosin way before everyone was doing it. And thus his lights now are, I'd say this to every rosin producer out there: if you haven't looked at Sunscape LED, you're
Definitely
doing
recommend.
your company an injustice.
I shot a video
because-
with me just power washing him too.
Oh yeah, that video is awesome.
Waterproof.
It was one of his selling
That's
points
why I
too.
did my
Yeah.
own version. I was like, I'm going in there deep because.
And we looked at a lot of companies too, and like,
Yeah.
That's awesome that you
just
guys
stood
picked.
out.
That's
Yeah.
that's. I mean, far and few between, because he hasn't really penetrated a huge market, obviously, because he's still
pretty
very
niche,
specific.
Yeah.
It's very much because there's
Oh, nice.
you can't really compete with like super cheap ones just because that's how people think. It's like back in
Right.
the day too, though. People realize it's one of the most important drivers of your entire thing is the quality of your light,
Oh yeah.
quality of your air, quality of your water.
Yeah.
Those three things.
Especially for resin. Yeah.
And so, yeah, exactly. And just the ability that we can tune, it makes it, at
We
least
had
we
a
have
lot of
more.
a lot of backlash too from customers saying, "Oh, you guys switched to LEDs, your weed's gonna suck now." And like, I don't think it sucks.
Because I
still,
fucked up
but
and I got excited when all the lights
We
went up and I
posted
made a cool
something.
video, all excited, and everyone's like, "Oh, no, unfollow, gone,"
like,
like,
oh, you got
well, there was
cardboard terps now.
I mean, it's like
So-
DJs. It's like
like,
DJs
dude.
and Serato back in the day, right? When it first came out, everybody was like, "Dude, I'm
was
going to
the
carry
other
my
one,
records everywhere. I'm not going to do that." And now,
Yeah.
you cannot find a guy with a record, like except for him. He's the
I
only
was
guy.
gonna say, wait
I
a
used to be a
second.
DJ.
This
He's the
guy,
only guy carrying vinyl
He's
around.
you got
Yeah.
you got doubles of records and stuff.
Oh,
Doubles.
So you can,
Look at
well, yeah,
it.
it's a DJ
Triples.
thing, so you can beat
It's a
juggle. and-
DJ.
yeah.
He's got triples.
Oh,
Yeah,
double?
just in case you
Unopened
fuck one up
backups?
that you
He's got
can't. Yeah,
unopened-
unopened backups. Yeah, exactly.
No, but in general, it was like the.
He has a record player he can wear on his side and
We have a
play
real
and walk
producer.
down the street with a speaker like
That's
back
awesome.
in
Now
the
Dave is
70s.
bullshit.
Nice.
That's
I, am,
Okay.
no, I never do.
Dave's got no bullshit meter.
Never.
But anytime there's an advancement in the industry, people are going to push back. I mean, it's just like, you guys do underlighting right now?
No.
I want to. I'm very
That's
stoked
cool
on
that
it.
we
Yeah, yeah. But no, we have not yet.
I hear the kids
we weren't
really
smart
enjoy
enough to
it.
do it in our rebate program, unfortunately. So
Yeah, well,
A
you know,
little
and
tickle
it's one of the
underneath.
thing about the underlighting though too is it's
Little
like
undercarriage.
I kind of feel like I've played with that idea back in the day, and I was like, you know what, I don't really want more down there anyway. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, I don't know, it's counterintuitive.
We already
to me.
kind of skirt down there, and strip all that material.
Right,
So
and
it's
if
like,
you
and
we're
if
gonna
you
leave
start,
it and see how it turns out. I guess. I don't know.
it's a tough one. It's a tough one because you definitely know that you're not going to get the same quality as you would on the top, just because the
Yeah.
airflow is going to be. I mean, I get it. People want to maximize their yields and stuff, but
what's like the yield per watt, like gainage or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the actual?
well, it's also what's the
How much is it
quality
at? Yeah.
and what's the quality on it if it's
Yeah.
the same, because it sucks when you have 2 or 3 different qualities going on. You know.
You like that one?
Yeah, I like this one.
That's a fave for
And the
sure.
rosin we put inside of it is just hitting
Oh,
right
Oh, you
now.
put rosin in there too.
Yeah.
Damn, that's why I'm so high.
Yeah.
I don't smoke hash on the show because I get so
We
high.
paired the headband with the sour diesel. So.
I'm ecstatic about
combination.
this. You two are about quality, and I appreciate that
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you.
I think that's what the industry is kind of lost, and then it's made it easier for real, true connoisseurs
Yeah.
and producers to sort of find each other now, because you can. Not that we. Katie has a thing. She doesn't smoke dispensary weed, but
I was just gonna
look,
say, like, there's a stigma on dispo
There's-
weed.
Okay.
but this is
Hash.
but
Spoiled
what you're
girly,
smoking
y'all.
is
I
dispensary
know.
weed.
I'm the one that
Yeah.
produced the show, boo. Yeah.
Yeah, but,
I'm very particular on what I will consume. I'll sit
Mark,
over here
are you
just
hearing this?
happy
She's-
as a clam smoking non-dispensary cannabis, you know?
Taking
I'm
a producer
spoiled,
credit
and I
again.
acknowledge that.
Small
so
batch,
to be
you
able
know?
to do some craft and just, yeah, go off, guys. That's
Oh, I
really
know all about
Awesome.
that.
Thank you.
spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's the. I mean, our circles right now, none of us are going into a live well. Okay, they occupy a niche. The Lords, they really got in. He
Yeah.
knew, he saw the market. He satisfies to a crowd that prefer that. Native Roots, maybe the same way. Almost getting there. What was the one that Trent started? That's everywhere now. I mean, these really big ones, they kind of have to go onto the wholesale market.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is ask a dispensary, how many stores do you have? If they say 1 or 2, this is a good start, right? They're probably
Quality.
controlling their production,
Yeah.
and they're not just like I was talking to somebody today. I said, could you tell the difference between a 7-Eleven and a Circle K if you didn't see a brand name? You
Yeah,
know,
right, yeah.
right? They carry the exact same product. You don't go to one to the other because one has Pepsi and the other one has Coke. They have the same shit, right?
Dave's breaking down the fucking Circle K right now for us.
No, but that's the dispensary model
Yeah.
in Colorado.
No, no.
That's what
That's
it's
so
become.
funny. I was gonna
Oh.
go McDonald's versus like Wagyu burgers and.
No, but it's what I'm saying is
I mean,
the
you're right.
dispensaries simply are going to some catalog. They're buying everything and they're hoping that when somebody walks past, they have a better price.
At first, you used to go to a place because it was all vertically integrated, and you knew the product from the bottom all the way to the
Yeah.
what
He used to drive all the way from Aurora to Boulder during COVID.
yeah.
So because of the quality.
What was that
cha-
shop
feel
in like a Gun Barrel or whatever back in the day? I don't know if it's
Green
still
Dream.
Green Dream.
I
That was
used to
Travis
Yeah, I used to
and
drive
Reed.
my ass.
I did
all the way
wholesale for
there.
them. I used
You're
to
gonna
swing their
go for
pounds
quality.
wholesale.
You're gonna
Yeah.
right. You're gonna travel.
I guess
Yeah.
and you bring up a good point. I think it's mostly, recreational brought, obviously more sales, but it also brought like a whole new group of smokers to our, scene. And like, it's like now we're the minority, whereas we used to be the majority. I guess
I have no problem with that. Consumers have no problem with it.
Yeah.
It means you're going to produce a better product that we're going to have to look for to find it.
Well, it's like when you have a party, when you know everybody at your party, it's kind of like it's fun, but it's not really the thing. But when you have a party and you don't know anybody at your party, you're like, holy fuck, I don't know anybody
I don't know
at
a
my
single
own party.
one.
This is a fucking party,
And
dude.
that's that's the best
And
way
so
to
that's the
break
same-
down like the market here.
That's
It's
how
like
it is.
that's the best way to do it. It's like the big ass companies and conglomerates that have, the multiple dispensaries, the tons of dispensaries, or the mom and pop or quality like small guys like we
But it's
are
also
here.
really rough now too, because if anybody shines, they're getting scooped up. You know what I mean? Because that's
Right,
how
they get
people are.
bought.
Because now we've literally turned into like, oh no, we're part of the fucking meat grinder American way of doing business, which is like, oh, you just do it until somebody wants to buy you out, and then you've made it. You fucking.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's the. I mean, my idea is like, well, then you really don't like what you're doing, because now we
Yeah.
gotta just start another one of the same thing
And,
and
like,
start all over again. It's
Ken
like,
and I have never been in it for the money. Like, sure, we want to make a good living, but when we got the licenses in our name, like the grow licenses, and we thought we were like, oh man, we've got these things that are worth millions.
Yeah.
No, we're nothing now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Worth
Well, they
nothing
might.
now.
They go in these weird things though. They're worth nothing. Then they're $100,000. Then they're nothing again, just because
Right, but
all of a
they
sudden they
used to be
change the
like
rules. They're like,
millions.
guess
You
what?
remember
You're
that?
not making any more. Now all of a sudden,
Here's when the next peak will go. It's kind of like the Gartner hype cycle for technology. There is this peak of inflated expectation where everybody thinks $5,000 a pound, 10 years, right? Then it goes down into the trough of disillusionment.
698.
Right? No, the 200.
Yeah,
I
that's
love what
amazing.
you're saying. You're going to get calls from people who are listening to the show going, dude, you can sell for $700 a pound? I got a ton of weed for you, because we're selling
No,
it
no,
for
no.
$300.
We don't sell our weed for that much,
Yeah,
but that's
I-
what the
Yeah.
state says that
We're on
the
the high end
pound
of it.
is on average.
And so it goes down into the trough, and then it eventually finds equilibrium. But that only is for the Budweisers.
Yeah.
I don't think the boutique, the craft, follows that cycle at all. We have a friend, just as I'm going to say his name, in Michigan, grows plants with Coca-Cola and grape juice and orange juice. What the fuck? Why am I blanking? Fang, and
I don't think he does Coca-Cola.
That's his new
you know what
lineup?
I know what I
Is
mean.
that
I think
in
he's a
some real
vegan.
sugars?
He's a vegan, first of all, so I don't think he's doing any of that.
No, he did Hawaiian punch.
But he did do some. He
Oh,
did
that's
some.
crazy.
He was doing fermented things, I believe.
Okay.
Might be a little more smart.
I'm
I
just
was like, is this like
What
an
was it-
idiocracy
what
where they're
effect
feeding
or
it?
what
It wasn't
effect is
Brondo.
going
It wasn't
Yeah, it wasn't
Brondo.
Brondo,
It
yeah.
wasn't that.
testing.
Or, yeah,
He's
some grape-
trying to figure
grape
out
soda.
what works, what doesn't work, and he still. What's the last time he called up and said how much he was getting an ounce?
Oh, but yeah, he's always got these crazy numbers.
Oh well, I mean, but he's the one that can
What
get
number? How much the number?
it. It was he's still getting like $500-800 sometimes.
Those were
Wow.
Aspen prices back in the day.
Yeah.
To run ounces to Aspen,
Exactly.
$600 ounce. Okay, I'll come.
I'll come. I'm on my way.
It's enough to get a hotel.
It's like double the going price back then. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's Colorado's terrible with that kind of stuff though. Like you can see LA doing that, you can see New York doing that, you can see like even when there's tons of weed around, there's always going to be somebody who can, get a $1,200 ounce or whatever. It happens. But Colorado, fuck no. It's like this. Everybody here is like already
Yeah.
like not because owning galleries here. I figured that out real quick. Like. A piece that you have that's worth $10,000, nobody would give you $500 for it here. You know what I mean? Take
yep.
that same thing to
To
LA,
New
they'll
York
give you
or LA.
$50,000 for it because they'd be like, oh my God, dude, that's amazing. It's like it's where you are.
Yeah.
And with weed here, everybody went quickly down. Like at first it
Race
was
to the bottom.
the super fast race to the bottom, like suicide mission let's see how low we can go. And we've like when I see a $39 ounce sign or something like that, it's like, well, really, what are we
That's
doing
kind
here?
of too expensive.
What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Because my whole problem always has been like, I always want to give the best weed possible.
So do I.
So I would find myself in these predicaments where it'd be like, well, fuck.
If you're traveling, so I was in Palm Desert or whatever, and I went and checked out a spot, and I was like, I asked for what's the best weed you got,
and it was
and
terrible.
they don't even know what they're giving you shit.
Should have gone
You know?
to plants by the
So then-
pool.
We got to. Yeah,
I asked for my friend's brand and got her stuff, and it was very good. But I'm like, If you let people direct you to that,
Yeah.
People know the best that people.
No, it's.
that's what I'd always say. What's the best shit you got? And then
Adam, when
someone's doing retail, if they're smart, they're
Okay,
selling
if
you
it's
what they
expensive.
have the most of at that
Yeah.
moment in time.
push the fish, it's
because
turning.
They're not gonna
Get
like,
it.
even think about
Going
what
bad.
quality, or they
You know
just
what the
don't know
difference
themselves.
between-
Yeah, well, that's a
Is
good
it
point.
possible you have-
education, miseducation.
Is it
lack of-
possible you have not realized that not everyone has a taste in cannabis that you have? That
Or just
the
we know
market
that.
in general
But I'm always wanting to
loves
enlighten
Budweiser.
people with better weed. That's the idea. You know, normally.
But I love that you are a breeder and you want to get great genetics out into people.
He
and how
cares about
everyone-
quality
and
medicine?
you care. I love. But
This
I'm
is
talking
what-
about the
Weird, man.
difference in what the market wants. The market wants a
The market
fucking
wants to feel better. The
$29
market wants
ounce.
to feel better.
They
I
want
think it just it
they want
comes from
30+%
education.
THC for $39. So you're like,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
that's called distillate, my friend. Here
Yeah,
you go.
for
Smoke
sure.
some of that.
Here's a
I guess that's what I'm getting at. Is like it's-
irradiated ounce.
Yes.
And
exactly,
I want
yeah.
you to rub keef on it, put rosin in the middle of it, and be able
Yeah.
to say it's 70%.
So scary.
You know,
Yeah.
But that's look. I can appreciate all of it. I'm not their consumer. It doesn't mean that I'm unaware that that market exists, and somebody better fill their need.
It has
Okay.
its positive
Someone
and
will.
its big
I
negatives,
appreciate
but
access.
it has its positives in the scene too. I think too. It's just, in my opinion, like we have endocannabinoid system. Like cannabis should be a part of everyone's life.
Thank
you
you.
know, so like it's literally in breast milk, and stuff. So like all I'm trying to say is like I think everybody wants
Ooh, look at
and
Mark.
should have.
Everybody looked at
cannabis.
Katie.
Thank you. You
But-
already know.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
exactly. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is
So
medicine.
Cannabinoids?
Everything
Yeah.
is
Breast
either
milk?
feeding you or like creating toxicity.
Does
in you.
this
You're
add
like,
to the
Yeah.
there's
adventures?
nothing in between.
yeah,
The in between are the fucking McDonald's that are like creating a lot of illness, and
Yeah.
it is through the not education. You
exactly.
know?
It's
And
just
like if you
lack
don't
of
know,
education.
yeah, you don't know that irradiated cannabis is like not good for you.
Gross.
Just not good for
Well,
you.
it's funny how little people know that. Though,
And we don't
'cause-
know too what it does and what it doesn't.
They don't have to even put it on the label.
Yeah, it's stupid, and that's. I almost think when you should have a label that says not irradiated, which would be super cool.
And it,
Well,
and
that's
and
a lot of questions people ask us that I got asked the other day from a dispensary manager.
Well,
Do
can
guys
you do that?
Irradiate your weed? Or no.
So-
No.
Yeah.
Could you put something on the label that says
Not
we are
radiated.
not?
Yeah, not
Yeah,
radiated.
we
Going
could.
the other
We would
direction.
never do that.
So
Yeah, we
that could
probably should.
start. You can
Not-
start.
It's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good
promotion.
idea.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
good
a
promotion just
great
because
idea.
people
That's a
would
good
go
idea.
out of their
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Because
That's a good idea.
we've been in there. It's like nobody will smoke any of the weed that they're growing because it has to go through there. And you're like, well, I don't even smoke our
Have
own
you
weed.
seen one of those machines?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
looks like a death
dude,
refrigerator.
That's scary.
Up close,
Yeah.
and up
Our
close and
bags
personal.
go
Up close
through it
and
almost
personal.
to get searched.
Yeah, I've seen one.
And the rec market is pushing, like, so say the med
I like to
specifically.
put
or
my
whatever.
head in there
The-
while
But
it's
they've been doing that.
happening.
And they've been doing that
They've been
anywhere.
pushing it. Now it's even like last month they put out a new newsletter that they're
Thresholds that you
going-
can go lower.
No, they're just taking more samples.
no,
from
so they're now.
stores.
Before it was just like I think if there was complaints they would go and like do things, but now they said that they're gonna ramp up their like random searches on the retail side. So as a
So
retail
they'll go sample at
manager
retail
or
level.
shop owner or whatever, wouldn't you go, well, we're gonna eradicate or only buy eradicated because we don't want to get fucked and have a
Because they get-
recall.
I'm not gonna have
Right.
a chance.
You
Right.
know, so
no,
like,
we already know this.
and it's the same with it's the same with the wholesalers too, right? Because like they're like, well, same thing because it's going to be on the wholesaler if it's a wholesale product in the retail dispensary. So a lot of that stuff is just getting eradicated, just in
They
case.
call it safe.
irradiated.
I'm sorry, yeah.
And yeah, irradiated.
Not eradicated.
We should eradicate.
We
the
should eradicate
irradiated.
the
Eradicate
radi-
that.
we should eradicate the radiation, but no, in general. But the crazy thing though is all our fucking vegetables are like that too.
Yeah.
Everything that comes into anything that's imported, if it's coming from Mexico or whatever, it goes into a bigger version than that. They have a
Yeah.
big room and they just put all
Same
the
thing with,
racks
like,
in there. and they-
aspergillus and like it's on everything you eat and smoke.
And so that kind of
Yeah.
sucks because even at organic spots and stuff too, it doesn't, as long if it's imported, it's been irradiated.
So
100%.
wait, you can list something organic and it's been irradiated
Yeah,
and it
that
doesn't
doesn't do it.
lose
That doesn't
In
that.
America, yeah.
Yeah.
that doesn't.
Ugh. That's not good.
There's a lot. I mean, the USDA organic. I mean,
the organic
it's still
standard is
worth buying it, but it doesn't mean you're really getting what you think you're getting. Because
Sure.
the main thing is the pesticide side. So okay, that it shouldn't have, but we don't know that either. So it's like we we also know how many fucking people are going to go out in the middle of the night at midnight and just save that crop if they can, because that's how their brains work. So that's happened, for sure along
It's
the
important
way.
to stay in touch with Mother Nature's, eh?
Yeah, it's
that was a good one.
but yeah.
I like that one.
That is so
What do you guys
fucking
running
gross.
for? What do you guys running for? So you guys are in cocoa or?
Yeah, we do cocoa.
70-30 perlite.
Yeah, 70-30 perlite cocoa.
Your favorite, perlite.
Perlite Mountain there's only one or two. There's only like 2 places in the world
That
I think that it comes from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those like we're gonna run out of that one day too. Fucking perlites.
Yeah.
No, but it was one of the dead giveaways back in the 80s
Oh, yeah, it was
when
a total-
somebody would think that they could just get rid of their soil and their lawn, and then it would rain, and you
Perlite in there.
Everything.
Always around the trees.
I always think that about my neighbors
like
because
around the
I use
trees
that for
would
my
just be
garden
nothing
soil
but
too.
perlite.
They're like, "What's
Yeah.
this weird looking?" And then I have like all my peppers in like grow bags.
Getting rid of
like-
dirt back in the day, yeah, that was
Yeah.
never good.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine in Cali back in the day, and her house, she'd been growing about 15 years in the same house, and every time she just dumped the soil in the backyard, right? And if you went to the
I
backyard,
used
it was
to do
like
that.
all the trees look kind of smaller than they should be, right? And it was like weird. And then I walked over to the fence, and I'm like, wait a minute, we're 2.5 feet above the other yard. Like she had like
Oh,
just been
God.
doing
Yeah,
it.
whole new ground.
She had been doing it for so long that her fence was like that, and her yard was here, and their yard was here.
It's
And I was like,
easier to see over the fence.
well, that's kind of
Yeah.
fucking funny. I was like, well, why don't do these fuckers? I was like, those fences look weird.
It's a
They're like
dollhouse
little
fence.
baby
I used to
fences
do
and
that,
little
yeah.
and like short trees, and then perlite all around the
Short
trees. Like
trees.
the trees were just mashed with
That's
perlite.
hilarious.
I was like, and then she did get busted eventually at one point. But when she got busted, she got narked on by somebody, and the cops were like, we would have never found you. And I'm like, you guys aren't paying much attention to the depth of the yards, are you?
That's
The
hilarious.
depth of the yards is crazy. I love this.
I
Yeah,
used
but
to
on
do
the
that.
on the other end of the spectrum, it was all the sugar trim that growers would give away that I was able to make brownies for free for
There you
like
go.
10
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because
Until they started
they
making
would
hash
thank
of it,
me
and you're like-
Yeah.
for taking it.
Yeah.
No, this was
yeah.
all the way up until legalization. I even made a tray of brownies for a dispensary when you could do that. And then I'm like,
awesome.
I think this is the trend. This is it. I don't need to do this anymore now. Someone's going to do it better. And
awesome.
yeah, brownies, right? Brownies and perlite. There's my 2 takes.
I used to all my post wash material, like after I'd wash it, I'd do the same thing, and I'd pour it in my garden beds, and then I'd next spring and come out there and you're like, what the fuck are all these thousands of plants? You let them grow out, and you're like, oh, those are all weed plants. You didn't wash somebody's seeded material or something
Yeah,
like that.
for
you
sure.
know?
Love it.
Or you didn't notice, like sometimes there'll be like micro tiny little seeds, or something like that. And yeah, so I stopped doing that. Unfortunately, it's like I'll grow a few plants, but not like 4,000 that are coming up in this, big patch of dirt.
It's awesome.
Well, that's why you got to get the freak show going, and then no one will know it's.
Imagine the
Cannabis.
phenos you could find out of there. It's like a 4,000 seed hunt, but they're all this big because they're all,
That's funny.
I like volunteers though; they're always fun because it's like, and it's weird because a lot of times you're like, I have absolutely
What's
fucking
next?
no idea. Like very rarely does it pop up and you go, oh, that's that. It's like usually like, where the fuck did this come from?
Yeah.
Like I had this
Oh,
one
the black maple.
that was like probably about almost 12 to 14 feet tall, and it was just straight. It went like woo, like a spiral,
Yeah.
and it had the most extreme sativa vibes to it. And I was
Yeah.
just like, the fuck did that come from? Like, it was so weird. And it was just like,
Yeah.
it didn't match anything because
Yeah.
it was like more sativa than anything I even had. So it was some throwback.
knock the table over there.
Yeah,
too.
don't do that.
And so cocoa, perlite, and then what's the, what are you guys running like for food? Like
We
kind of
use
a melange.
we use a little mixture of some stuff, but we use like a house and garden base.
Okay.
With some different additives mixed in. But yeah, we've always ran house and garden for years. We've tried a few things that over the years that we did like, but I still just for flavor, just
Like, I mean, like back in the day, Botanicare was one of my ones I
Yeah,
liked.
we
but
used
it was
some
expensive,
Botanicare
but it was
additives.
expensive. It was kind of, and then they sold out, and it was like, fuck them. Like I'm not gonna run.
Yeah.
Can't support that one anymore.
What do you run now?
Well, so we've worked with what I would like to run with, but I can't unfortunately because he's not operating right now. Is Culture Biologic, which was Tim McCormick. I don't know if you know him, but he had put out this really
Mad
awesome
scientist.
awesome line, and I still have a bunch of it, except I'm out of calcium, and I'm kind of like, until I can get the real deal. But he had to shut down. Like, it was like the classic where he just like post-COVID, he set it all. He was setting it all up, and then investors pulled, and then he was like, well, there you go. But New Mail, I love. You know,
New Millennium.
yeah, I mean, I love that. Just as like, because it's too expensive to run if you're going to run it for commercial purposes, probably because it's just a little too many components, a little bit too much. But from running it on your own, Niels, who's the chemist behind everything, he's like probably the most intelligent fucking nutrient guy who is responsible for, you know, advanced formulas like General Hydro. He worked with all the major people, and he was like the brains behind all of it. And he's always, they make it here local, so it's kind of like it's if I wasn't that connected, it'd be kind of a tough one to sell, because they have a real, like, the people who do run it realize it's like they're like, just their fulvic, for instance, is 9 different fulvic inputs, and that's like already the most expensive thing out there probably that you're working with. So it's like working with, like, I got 7 kinds of saffron in this one recipe. And you're like,
That's the
wow,
most expensive spice.
you didn't go with just 1. You had to have 7. It's like,
That's the magic number.
But he, like, Niels always has these crazy things that he's making, and he'll just like, he'll bring it out. And
That's cool.
So it's fun to work with. Like Canna back in the day was one of the things I used to work with in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Like, and the reason why was because they were very open about what it was called. Canna, first of all. It wasn't like, we're making tomato shit. And they were the only ones in Holland that you could send in samples to, and then they would give you some like feedback on what like they could tweak your nutrients for you a bit, and kind of give you an update. So that was cool. And that was like,
that's cool. I didn't know that was a
batch, but
yeah, they were the only ones. And they even did it like, they would go to all the show at the shows. You said, bring your weed and we'll test it. And you know what I mean? They did it. They were very cool about that.
Okay.
But now Holland is really
I used to
weird.
run all Canada as well. I like Canada.
I still love Rhizotonic. Like, that's to me like perfect rooting thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's a perfect.
Is that the one that's super expensive though?
Super expensive.
Yeah. I'd always tell my wife she'd go get my nutrients while I was at work or something, and it's like, she's like, you want the big or the small? Like, just get the small.
It's like $50. It's like 50. It's like $50. You know what I mean? And it's just like, wow, I can't believe I just spent $50 on just
that's like the Bud
a liter
XL
of
the House
liquid. You're
Garden.
like, God damn! Now I'm gonna go home and not have any food.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
We're not eating this week.
There's been many times.
Wash those diapers.
Oh, there's been many times over the years where you're pouring so much into like a crop that you're just like, start doing the numbers, and you're like, God damn.
Yeah, people always ask you that too. How much does it cost you to grow a pound? I'm like, we have so much variety in every room. It's like, you can't really put your finger on that accurately.
I mean, in the long run, if you can, like, pull in, fully organic, growing in beds, and it will cost you a lot out the gate, and then as the years go by, you start to go like, holy fuck, dude, now our prices have just completely dropped to almost nothing, because you're just basically feeding the soil, and you're not having to go crazy. But you have to really, it's a little dangerous again, because if you have an issue,
I think we're both so like old. I don't know if old school is the right term, but it's like we're kind of stuck in our ways. So it's like, what works is like, this is what we do. Even the light change was scary for us. Like, at least like he had ran them before at Llama, and then I had at home. So it was like, I knew it was possible, obviously, and stuff like that. But just, this scary change of like, this is what we're known for, our consistent quality. And so it was a huge change for us. But yeah, thankfully it's been fine. But yeah, it's really scary for me to change. And like, that was my big thing when I first started growing. You, especially as a hash maker, people would be like, try this, try that, try that. And I just like, even at home still, I have a few bottles of just stuff. And I'm like, I'm so scared to try this, just because you have your, like, even people, like we flush different, like we have different ways of growing, like, because I learned this a different way. And it's like, I only flushed with just like non-pH water, just raw water. And then like some people are like, yeah, me too. And then some people use flushing agents. Some people use sugars. Some people use RO,
RO
or 5.9 pH or something like that. So it's
and there's a huge discussion now if you have to flush at all. Like,
yes, correct.
There's a whole bunch of people out there like, I don't even flush at all.
And that's why I was bringing it up, because the living soil thing to me always, like, for some reason, kind of and this is, I'm more of a hash maker brain than and better hash maker than I am a grower, but like I didn't know how you flush it. Like, you know, like a living
That's the thing,
bed
you're not.
is you're
You
not.
don't flush.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
don't
when
flush.
I got taught how to grow weed
Yeah.
and make hash,
Yeah.
it was like the flush is like, that's how you get that, you know, ash and the flavor and stuff. And now it's,
Burnability
and once again, it's maybe, I don't know, because I'm more focused on the hash making of it, but it's like I don't know the science behind it. I guess
think
is
when
what
you're
I'm
on
saying.
cocoa, compared to on soil, it's going to be like you'll get different. You'll have different types of like the thickness of your stems could be totally different. Like you could have you'll have a vascular like hollow stem thing just sucking up like crazy,
Yeah.
and then the one on the living soil will have a completely dense. Needs to be like that because it needs to work everything.
Okay.
It's not
Yeah.
like it doesn't. So you'll have different conditions, and then for me the difference is like which it isn't so important if you're doing retail is long-term storage.
Okay.
Because when you take or like that grown in beds and grown organically, and then you'll notice when you cure that, it like sustains longer.
Okay. Interesting.
That seems to be the kind of like it's like the cure's better. It has a little bit, but it's not as much of an issue now
Yeah.
because a lot of times it's like okay, and that's
you gotta get it
gone. You know what I
gone.
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
and people want those high-end terpy stuff anyway, which is usually very unstable anyway. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's the kind of thing where
Volatile.
a couple opens.
I was just explaining that today. Actually, this black maple that we brought, I think it's right there. Yeah, if you
Oh,
look
yeah.
it comparably to all the other textures, it's the same technique that I did on it, but the resin itself just like I like bleeds out. It just like it won't stay stable.
Sure.
Which
It's
once
got more
again is a
terps,
nightmare,
basically.
but that's probably one of the best
so that
jars on
usually
the table.
goes to flour.
Yeah.
And so we were like trying to really pad the hash menu, and so I was like, let's just wash
Quality.
this. And he's like, oh, it's a really greasy one,
But I really want to
came
smoke
out pretty
it.
good.
It's not- I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful for sure.
So I want to see this.
Yeah.
It's very. It looks awesome.
Yeah, and if you guys help yourself to any of the dabs
Yeah, if
over
you
there,
wanna-
too.
But you'll notice with the
This is all for
terpier,
you guys, so.
you'll notice the terpier ones are less. They have the stability issues because that's what it is. Just like
Yeah. Sure.
another. It's another.
That's
solvent.
what I was getting at, I
It's a
guess, with the
solvent in there.
grower hash maker mind
Yeah,
is
Ken
like,
says it's a
I was a
solvent.
hash maker first, so I'm always like, look, that's the end goal. But then, like, becoming a grower too, and you're just like, man, but like, I just want to smoke and like, kind of like him,
Well, it's good 'cause
I
you-
smoke more flower honestly than I do just on a daily than I do dabs. Dabs are more of like an evening thing for me,
Same.
or rosin in general, or
Yeah.
hash in general is
I'm
like
kind of the
evening.
opposite. I'm like, I like to do dabs all day because I'm kind of just moving along.
And
doing
see, I
things.
see
Yeah.
most
And then
most people I
Once
think
they smoke
are,
a
yeah.
joint, it's like,
Dabs all
dude,
day.
I'm hungry.
chilling now.
I'm fucking losing
Yeah.
my shit.
I've
I'm
heard too
like,
'cause of the
I forgot what I was supposed to be
6:30 a.m.
doing
bong
already.
hits. I'm the
Yeah.
same.
It gets
Yeah.
me. It's like a dumber high, but it's a good high. It's
A lot of my
single-
like parent friends or something too is like they would prefer like a pen or dabs too because it doesn't smell like smoke.
Speaking of our new pen.
And everybody like has a pen, now.
Everybody,
Pass that
these
down.
are
it's like
great.
some sort
I'm
of
not
juice or
usually a.
whatever.
Here, there's two of them.
I'm
Whatever
very
they are.
So
excited.
look at, I like the name Ken gave it since for fishermen. It's called the fish whistle.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like
I
a
love
term-
This.
it's a
yeah,
term
you
in the
guys
fishing
are into all
community,
kinds of
so-
cool stuff.
Oh yeah, we're outdoorsmen. We like to fish and hunt and all
love
that stuff.
it.
So
Yeah,
most
you
of our
guys-
packaging and like logos are like, kind of Colorado mountain.
Got this mountain with the little river on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And that's how we became friends too and business partners was like
So who said you
with
came
fishing,
up
so.
with single source? Or
Yeah, like I was honestly
saying it every
maybe
day, like,
yeah, I
all
was
day.
maybe an asshole at first about it.
Single source.
Yeah,
single
when
source.
we
So I have a way
when
I
we were
do
trying to pick a
things.
name,
You're like,
and
wait a minute.
Hopefully
and
it's
I was
charged
the
up.
hash
It's
maker
sitting
too, and I was
for a
like,
week
no,
or
you
two
don't
and
understand. This is
rack.
like
But really
the
rip it.
coolest name, like this is
the
like
blue-
what people
yeah.
are doing, and it's like a farm to
This is what you
table type
want.
thing. Yeah. So yeah, it was like I pretty much put my foot down. I was like, I want this name. So
Yeah.
not that everyone didn't like it, but it was.
I mean, it's like we were talking about earlier, though. Descriptor. When you have a descriptor name, and it's like, you live up to the name.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and now
Whereas
that
if you're-
name's, single source is
Single
used a lot
source is-
in the industry because
then they're saying, then they're promoting you.
Well, no,
Like,
but
no,
just
secretly they're
saying that
kind
it's single
Yeah.
source.
I know. And you're like, oh, you mean the
I
brand?
want
And
to
you're
know
like,
where
nope.
my anything is coming from.
which that's like one thing we talked about too is like we want to, control our quality. Some hash companies do a great job just sourcing material, but you're at the mercy of the market.
You don't know
You're
what
at the
they
quality.
can tell you whatever they
the
want to tell you.
strains. We've had so many interactions where they're like, dude, these are washers. These things dump. The white truffle's just going to throw down.
Because it looks
nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
because there's a bunch of stalks in there. And that's
Yeah, same thing. It's like
Yeah.
They got that
the
first
trichome
30
science.
seconds.
yeah.
well, and so when people you look at weed differently when you're making hash because it's like if you see a lot of stalks,
People don't believe you,
You're
especially
like-
years ago. They did
especially-
not believe me. They're just like, you're. Like I would get told, like, no, that's.
well, there's
I'm
there's
not, I'm
weed
not gonna
that if you
freeze
look at it
that
under a
or-
microscope, there's like nothing.
Mhm.
It's just stalks, and it goes up to like this little tiny micro penis thing at the top, where you're like, "The hell's that? That is not a gland. That's for what the
Yeah.
fuck."
Right.
So,
You want those
Or
big,
telling people
fat,
not to,
juicy
like-
heads?
but people don't see
not
it.
to touch their weed, like, at least not like I probably in my flower room. I was like, yeah, I obviously skirt and defoliate and stuff like that, but as like the nugs form and stuff, I like pretty old school. Once again, like I'll feel it to feel the resin, but on like the sugar leaf or something, but I'm not squeezing it or anything. It's like I'm still to
Don't
me, it's like
wheeze the
I know
juice.
there's hundreds of thousands of trichomes on there or whatever, but it's like, oh, you're gonna fuck up like 7 of those. I'm gonna be pissed.
that's-
So,
and
so
what's-
when you squeeze it like that, you get a good feel for what it's going to be. Do you ever get a feel and you know it's going to be dog shit, and then you make the person stay with you while you wash it so that you can show them? Like, you go, look, dude, this is one of those where I would tell you right now, if we weren't friends, I would not be washing this.
Yeah.
But if you really want me to, you have to wash. You have to stand right here.
I feel like sometimes I should have because it's like, once again, people wouldn't believe you, and there was a huge stigma, like early, like in my career, just like I guess like, oh well, we'll do 33% or whatever, 25%, however we do split. The grower is never gonna fucking believe you that it was 25%
No,
or
they're
33% or like. You know what I'm saying? It's
Fuck
like,
no.
and so it's always like, and then the grower, especially old school,
It's
once
even-
again.
But it's this thing. It's literally, as a hash maker, it's the first thing I already know in my mind.
Yeah.
Who's gonna talk shit? Who's gonna make up numbers and who's not? Just by
Yeah.
dealing with them.
So
the first time.
that's what's once again was hard, and why I think we had such a great relationship, and then became friends too. So we trusted each other. It was like, well, like I swear I'm not like it got 1%, like, like and like,
And
yeah, same
integrity
thing
is
like.
crucial, and sometimes,
Yeah, and it's just hard to explain, especially years ago too, and with the fresh frozen thing, and that alone, getting low numbers and all that stuff, it was really, really, really hard to convince people to do. And
Look
you
where
know,
we
You guys
came
need some
from.
hash over there?
We came
So
from the gray
Yeah.
market, the whatever
wanna
they would
break
call it, the
something.
traditional market, the black market,
Yeah.
whatever that was. And
Touchdown.
it was scary
Good times.
at times.
Yeah.
It was you didn't at the end of the day you were happy to
Well,
just
especially-
made it home.
Yeah. Well, and especially like you're saying, maybe if you're getting 6,000 a pound or something to your normal
was
guy.
9,000.
9,000. Sorry, 9,000. And this nerdy kid with long hair comes over and tells you, that to freeze your weed and then get 3%, and that's a good. That's a great, and then like only one of the or two of the microns too back in the day before rosin were like of the quality, or you're like, no, this is
Oh, I know.
6-star, 5-star, whatever.
It's
you
so
know,
rough
and,
because
like,
then you're like, what do we do with all this?
Exactly,
crap?
and that's where the other business part of it came through. Is like, well, what do you do with your 25 and your 45 and your fourth wash and your whatever? It's like back in the day, you'd have to just sell it to an edible company or make edibles, or like mix it in joints or something. But it was hundreds of grams comparative to you could probably sell back in the day when we were microplaning in the recreational market. Is like all that they would buy, is things that wouldn't chaz your banger, so like melty hash, but maybe 40-50% of a wash you could actually like gram and sell in a dispensary or wholesale, because it was like had to be to a quality standard, of course, but and then that was always on Instagram, oh, this one's chaz, this is 4.75 stars or whatever, and it's like,
dude,
it's
how
so
hard?
Yeah,
I'm like, there's so many variables here. This
There's
is
a
crazy.
T-shirt.
Yeah,
You chaz my banger.
Instagram, like,
yeah.
yeah.
And now, like you
but
said, people that had rosin now that are like they learned their dabs from rosin because it's kind of taken over the dabs market. Is like they're like think that melt is the coolest shit, and like so now it's kind of like changed around to where they're like, oh, like it comes from this, and if it's of high quality and is melt, like, and it's cool. You get to the
I
bubbles,
mean, I think
and
the
that's why I fell
the
in love with it.
education-
Something tells
And
me
I think the
Yeah.
key to it though too is like the difference again we were talking about earlier about the high quality. Like I never get as high on rosin as I do off of like 6-star.
I think it's
fucking
the
some real-
plant or something. Yeah, it's like
'Cause
that.
it's-
You want, and that's why I
It's
like to
like-
smoke weed too. I
it's-
think it's like
It's
I
a-
need that plant
Combustion.
to
well,
it,
the
I
thing
guess,
about it too is it's
higher
like
temperatures too. I guess. Yeah.
like when you look at the extraction of any extraction method, you're going to lose something, right? So along the way, whether it's BHO, whether it's water hash, whatever it is, you do miss something. That's why I was asking about earlier if you did dry stuff, if any dry sieve, because when you're making dry sieve, the interesting part about it is that is like step one.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what are you going to do with it? You could just sit on that for 20 years if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no fucking, it just gets better.
Giving
and
it away
and
again.
better.
Yeah.
And so, well, they can't make time.
Once again,
They
education, man. People don't
They
They
can't
don't
understand.
understand.
Yeah.
But in general, it's like whereas when you put it into water and you take it back out and you take the water out, it's missing. It's like if you take an egg and you wash an egg, you can't now just like leave it out. You have to now keep it in the fridge. Same thing. It's lost its protective membrane that was already there. Like was
Start a stopwatch.
so when you're doing like static tech or you're like now we're using the vac with the headhunter screens,
Yeah,
but
those are
stuff like
cool.
that. When you get it down to like it's like you look under a scope and you can't see any plant material, you're like, all right, we're pretty much achieved, what we can here, maximum. That is so shelf stable. That's the best part about it. And to
Already
me,
pre-dried.
and to me, that's kind of like where we fucked up with all the water hash is because everybody went to fresh frozen, which I get it. The terps are there, but those terps are kind of fleeting too because they're by putting it in the water, you lost all the water soluble ones right out of the gate. Then
and then
dried,
pressing and then like putting it under pressure in a freeze dryer.
If you put it in a freeze dryer, you're definitely putting more. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you can smell it, so whatever you smell is gone, right?
Yeah.
That's gone. And then you can even.
Once again, it opened it up to a bigger range. So in my mind, it's cool that like rosin was one created and two that it's expanded into like the leading concentrate for dabs because like just watching it from back when I was struggling just trying to make like something melty, like it's cool to see where it's at now. So it's like it's cool. Just like before we were saying, it's like it's cool that more people are smoking and like are trying to smoke the better, the best that they can.
Well, yeah, and I always tell everybody it's literally healthier because you're smoking less to get higher effect. Just like it just logical, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Now we love flower too because the thing about flower, I think there's also the missing element that once you take out everything is like cannabis has natural antihistamines built into it, right?
Yeah.
So it actually is an expectorant. It opens up your lungs.
Yeah.
That's right. So as you're hitting on it, it's
like a more full spectrum
it's like,
cannabinoid.
It's literally like aiding the whole process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel like when you're using extracts that are, you're kind of like you're getting a piece of the pie, but you're not getting the whole pie. You know what I mean?
No,
and
for sure.
And the missing parts are the stuff that you don't even know is there. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't know, but it's doing this, and this because it has a sort of neural protecting kind of vibe to it already, where it's like. As you're taking that hit, it's opening up your lungs, which are going in. Now it's pumping through everything really good.
They all have this different like entourage effect, and I know a lot of people don't like using that term, but
why? Who doesn't?
I don't know. I've heard
Tell
because of
point
the
them out.
TV show. Because everyone.
What was it?
Hey,
point them out.
I've heard some people say it's like not the right way to describe it, but I think it is.
No,
but
it's more like an
Who,
orchestra.
what?
And he's the conductor.
Yeah,
and blah-biddy-boo.
exactly.
There's a couple ways to do it.
But what
how far behind the times am I right now?
You don't know about the whole
There's a
orchestra?
nuance.
The orchestra effect.
There's a
Oh
nuance.
shit!
Yeah.
I never heard of it.
Yeah,
And as chefs, both of you understand the nuance.
Yeah.
To
I think they all have their place because, like, I mean, I hit some 99% dry sift that Cuban grower made. Shout out Ozzy, I love that. I love that
for him to
man.
try.
And it was like
I was gonna say,
it was a
Adam-
few weeks ago, and I got crushed. I'll normally smoke, like rosin or melt or flower, but it's always from my grow, either down in my basement or from our grow. So it's like you get the same kind of effects all the time, even if it's a new strain. But then you'll smoke somebody else's grow, and you'll be like,
Whoa.
oh my god, this is
Yeah,
or like
this
so
is
yeah.
great.
That was my example. I hit some dry sift, and I don't normally smoke 99% dry sift heads or whatever, so it was just like felt like I was gonna have a panic attack or something, which was awesome. I haven't felt
love
like that in a
it, yeah,
while. So it was like
Tightness of the chest.
first like 5 minutes, like oh fuck.
Welcome to the Adam Dunn Show.
No, that's
It
always
sounds like you guys enjoy that feeling, so I was like, I kind of like it for like 5
That
minutes.
near-death experience.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's
I've
that's
given
what
me
haze
everything.
is.
I feel like
That's what haze. That's what a good
They're
haze will
racy.
do. A good haze will do
Yeah.
that to you too, where
Yeah.
you're like, fuck, like there was,
Did I just do that? Oh,
so
God.
in Amsterdam, my favorite shop was Katsu back in the day, and it was the first place I sold weed to.
The Katsu Bubba.
And it was he named it after he loved that coffee shop.
I get that from Green Dream we talked about earlier all the time back in the day.
He's been on the show, and he did name it after the spot.
Okay.
But it was also like in a working neighborhood of Amsterdam, so it was like the much more honest kind of spot where you went in, and they only had good weed. And the Haze one that they sold, which is just Neville's Haze basically, but it would get you so like, and it's funny, I can feel it now because it was so obvious. Like you go in, you're like, everybody's cool, you just get your thing, you start to roll it, you smoke. Literally by the second hit, you're already feeling really kind of weird. And there's a certain moment where you're like, it just comes on like a fucking weird freight train of like, oh shit, this is fucking like, it's like I go outside, you take a breath, you come back in, you're like, the fuck was
like
that
you said,
all
it's an
about?
orchestra. It's like all the way up, all the way down,
and it's
good
like,
now.
And then you're like, that was kind of cool. Like all of a sudden
let's go
you're
do
like,
that again.
like exactly. And it's, so for some reason that but it's like I used to also think of, back when it was all bongs, right? We didn't even have, there was no rigs, it was just bongs, a little snap fucking hit, and you do 20 bong hits, about 20 a
That's how
day,
Tony
on
and I
average,
smoke.
something like that, but only one good one. You know what I mean? Like the other 19 were like, nah, that wasn't quite the one. And then you get the one that gives you that head, like we were talking about the headband, gets you that kind of like.
Me and my boy had it to a science. It was like
top of your head.
0.3 of a gram is our snap, and that was like, boom, one snap and maybe a little bit extra after on the second hit, and then
Right.
that was done. But we had it down to like the math. How many hits are we gonna get out of this eighth?
Yeah.
That was my boy Kenny.
But it was also
Different
like,
Kenny.
but it was also like you said, like you kind of, especially when it was flour too, because it was like maybe this part of the flour, maybe that, but like
The
maybe-
epical meristem.
Ec-
You want the top.
occasionally you get that perfect one. You'd be like, oh.
My boy Drew would always say that.
But I would
Back
always-
up the epical meristem.
But I would,
Oh, him too, huh?
but I would, back when graphics bongs were also a big thing.
Oh yeah.
So you remember how they had
Those
that
are
kind of
sick.
like martini glass shape to
Right.
them. So in Amsterdam, when I was making that 30-second hash, what I would do is scrape it out of there, and I put it into that, and I top it off like a beer thing,
Okay.
and it was
Like a-
exactly 1/10 of a gram because it was really light and fluffy,
Okay.
and it wasn't like. I wasn't really getting full melt, but I was getting like it would disappear. That's all I cared about, is that it didn't
It was
like
melty enough.
It disappeared. You know what I mean? It went
Yeah.
somewhere. It was where to go, but it was like, and then people would. I called it the Trichome Challenge, and so people would come in, and I'd set up a camera, and then I eventually had the camera mounted on the bong, right? So it's like facing up, and then they'd get there, and it was funny because all the Europeans couldn't do bong hits. None of them knew how to do a bong. Like none of them. They all hold
Spliffs
it
and
wrong.
everything,
They'd be
yeah.
like,
Breaking
"Why do
it.
you hold it? What do you do?" And I'd be like,
Which end do I shuck from?
Try to put their mouth around it. I'd be like, "Dude, what are you doing?"
Someone put their mouth on
You're
the
smoking
nail.
it, not
Yeah,
blowing it.
At the cannabis cup, I had somebody on a dab on an e-nail, like
Oh,
and
Yeah.
I've seen someone grab it with their hands too.
come on.
Yeah, both of them. yeah.
Seen that.
It's
Yeah.
funny. It's funny how
Yeah.
that story has been multiplied multiple
No more
times.
e-nails.
But there was one time which it was at a festival, and it was like big news. Like people were talking about it.
Yeah.
And the guy who was in my store goes, "Dude, I was sitting right next to him when it happened." And it was like they were all sitting in a tent.
We don't
They had
need to talk about
they had
this.
they had the rig. It was a classic. It was back when you had the classic where if you didn't
still
see,
talk about it.
because it was titanium nail,
Oh, yeah.
red fucking hot, like
Yeah.
it was all
Hot
the
and
wrong.
hurdy.
Yeah.
And this dude came in and did the exact same thing, and like he was so high that after he took it off, he'd be like, "Is it bad?" And they're like, yeah. He goes, "Do you guys, anybody have any chapstick?" Right? And he literally, and he like rubbed chapstick all over his burnt mouth and like walked off into the
God.
into the
That's
festy.
crazy.
And my friend, the guy who was at the shop was like, "Dude, it was nasty, dude. We could like,
Okay.
You could smell
we could
it.
smell it." It was like,
Flesh burning.
yes.
We were at a Tetra party.
we don't need to.
Like
We really don't.
I didn't see it. This guy like because now
Katie, how was your week?
Did you hear it?
no like now
Mark, how you
nowadays-
doing, buddy?
Nowadays these events you have like people bring their own rig or whatever, bring their own puffcos and stuff, and you don't have to use the e-nails and stuff. So this guy told us, I think he had one of these. He had the pivots, and it had like the little terp pearls in it or whatever, like that's in these. and he said that he ripped it too hard and it went swoop, like right down his throat.
Oh god.
Yeah, the little tiny pearls that
They
are
should
in
take
this
those
one.
out of there.
Yeah, so I got this little like glass piece for it, like not for that reason, but I was like, man,
Damn.
so
I'm
don't
ripping stuff
rip it
too
too
hard.
hard.
Who gave me
'cause it'll
those
go
pearls?
straight.
I
And he was
forget
like,
who
it
gave
hurt
me
for like 30 seconds.
I mean, it
just
was
like
always a
600
badge of
bucks.
honor to get your first, scar from leaning over.
I have done
and,
that.
You know,
Yeah. That's
been
everybody's
that's
got
awesome.
at least one ring along the way.
I had some people.
How many rings did you get? Oh, we got full.
My favorite
I
one
had
is
a sleeve of them.
my favorite one was I think it was with Concentrate
That one left a
Supply
mark.
Company, and we were at this event where you could have a booth,
Mine
but you
covered
couldn't
by a brown
have any
cloth.
product. So it's like we had these pens that were filled with honey, and this lady just walks up and just grabs it. Like, who does that, first of all? Be like, normally everyone like, hey, can I try this? But she just walks up and goes, sticks it in her mouth. And it's like, I'm like, no, please don't. And it's just like, once again, you could smell like this burning sugar smell. Like,
How
it
you
was
doing, Mr. X?
So bad.
Good to see you, buddy.
So bad.
Holy jeez Louise.
Yeah.
more
Speaking
horror
of
stories.
no,
Cool.
we have another one. We have a great horror story. Remember the company that had the real? They had the real ones at the they were at like a farmer's market or something like that, and they had they had supposed to be fakes, and then they were real, and everybody bought them or gave them out to everybody. You know what I'm talking about? The edible.
I never heard that story. It doesn't
Yes,
surprise
it
me.
happened here. It happened here a couple of years ago, and it was like the classic where they were like supposed to. Oh yeah, you guys want them? Oh, don't worry, there's nothing in them. And then everybody went home, and they were like, "Fucking kids were eating them," and it was just like,
Oh yeah.
they were like, "Yeah."
Really? Okay.
Well, they give out display jars at a lot of the edible companies would give you like a display jar of the non-medicated ones that people could try, kind of thing. But yeah,
I could see that
It would get
happen,
mixed up.
unfortunately.
No, yeah, because it was like they
Was
ran.
it Dixie?
I don't think it was Dixie, but
what was the one that started off that proved to have no THC in it?
No. That was
We had
that was a
boxes of
name. That
those
was
at
like
my
Bob,
J's.
Dr. J's.
Dr.
That was
J's,
it.
yeah.
Dr. J's, and they were.
Like, no one will ever.
Yeah,
know this.
no. I remember exactly when that happened.
We had
and
cases of that shit.
But you know
dude.
the
It's
story,
like,
though?
No, these are garbage.
every time somebody mentions that, I have to qualify it by
Right.
saying it had nothing to do with the company and everything to do with one disgruntled manager who knew he was going to fuck their brand up
Yeah.
before he left. So he did an entire
that
fucking
happens.
run
Okay.
that didn't have anything in it.
Sabotaged
Sabotaged it.
Saved him
So-
some costs at least.
that's kind of
You know, but yes, I remember that. Well, also, then they found out that everything that Dixie Elixir did, and Keef Cola, the moment they moved to cans, 80% of the cannabinoids were stuck to the inside of the can.
Oh, really?
because it's plastic
Yeah.
lined. You know,
All
they
the
have
good
this
stuff.
Why would that be a problem?
And you can see that happening too, right? Because it's like
They
that's
solved the
oily,
problem.
and it's going to stick to the other oily
Yeah.
thing, which is there on the inside of the can.
That's crazy.
Damn, Katie's been holding that for like an
I know,
hour.
I'm
Damn,
sorry, guys.
she's very-
I'm so sorry. You guys
she's
put
the turf
hash
sampler.
in-
Bogarting it.
Oh wait, she's giving it up because the new one is coming now.
That's
She's ready for
only-
another hour.
Holy
Another
shit!
hour.
Only
The turp burglar.
I'm so.
Turp burglar.
I fucking hate you guys
Oh,
sometimes.
That-
you-
it was
this
Adam.
is so great.
He came up with it.
You guys put the hash in here. Though.
Hey,
No, it's not in that one.
was
Now you
Katy
gave
Bear,
up
now
the
she's
hash
the turp
one. Now you
burglar
have the
now.
one without the hash.
Turp Burglar Productions.
Damn.
You know what?
That's
We
so
haven't
true.
heard
One,
from
huh?
you all night.
I like
That's a good
Turp
one.
Burglar. I think that's a good.
That's a
I
great
think
one.
Turp Burglar's great.
Great name.
I think
And I
s-
definitely do.
saw on
They roll
Instagram
me my
or-
own joint.
I'm sure there's an
I
Instagram.
babysit it anytime
Look
we
him
have
up. I'm
dinner
sure there's a
together.
Turp Burglar
I'm
out
sure
there.
there is.
Yeah.
Did you notice her nomenclature, what she said? She doesn't smoke it by herself. She babysits it.
I
Just took it
bogarted
for a walk.
You see that?
Adam always
You see
tells
how
me,
easy it
Katie,
is?
we'll-
Babysitting is such a cool thing to do.
We're
Out.
just
It's
talking,
usually out. That's the
rolling,
funny
you know?
thing. It's usually just out in your hand.
That's exactly what he says. Katie's already let it go out.
that's
Or I
awesome.
forget my tip.
But actually, just so you know, every time
I
that
did
happens
it,
with
though.
her, it is a sign of a good joint, right?
Good.
If you can let it go out and you're not constantly going back to it, with
That's a good
5 of
joint.
us here, though, it's a little difficult.
Here, it's your
Yeah.
turn, actually.
I like your guys' tech with this little.
Yeah, the
Aren't they
wood tip
great?
Those are pretty cool.
So it's time to mention
You guys do
one of our
pre-rolls at all,
longest
or- yeah, or
sponsors,
sometimes.
Yotips.
A little bit. Okay, so you can add these to your
Yeah.
program, and
Yeah.
it would definitely.
That's nice.
And you can get them custom done now. You can put your
Really
name
put
on
your
them.
logo on
Yeah,
them. That's cool.
everything's possible.
Jesse's
So
are
we
great.
interviewed an old friend of mine, Elliot
And big
Marshall,
ones, too.
UFC fighter, who came here, and I didn't really think about it until I saw the look on his face when I said, I've really not been sick since I'm using this product. And I'm around a lot of people every day.
Yeah.
Okay? So shout out to yotip.com if you're out there.
Wow,
If
look
you're
at
a
that
dispensary, if you're a
I
pre-roll
saw this.
company, you need to reach out to them. It is perplexing to me why every medical dispensary doesn't have these available for their customers. If you're truly preaching that you're in it for the medical side of it, then this product needs to be there. And that's just the bonus. It makes every pre-roll hit better.
Yeah.
It's something about coming down to this size millimeter right here. Kind of like the South Park we just saw. You know, it's really small.
We didn't see it.
Don't
though.
ruin
Yeah.
it.
Hey,
Dave.
hey.
This is the part of the
Mr.
show where Dave ruins shit.
Yeah.
Everyone go watch South Park so we can talk about it next week.
Hilarious.
Check out this one, Dave. We talked about the slap and tickle.
I'm
one of
so
our
excited.
favorites.
One
to
time
try
in
this
college,
thing.
I told you I just needed the money. It wasn't anything
Just
I.
one time.
Meant
Just
nothing.
one
Just one time. You guys are fucking
once.
hysterical. I
Oh,
love
that's
that name.
beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
this
really
is-
nice.
That's a nice one.
I'm
Rosin is
so high, you guys. Thank you
So-
for getting me so high today.
Oh, of course.
Rosin
Mission accomplished.
BHO. Have you ever? I know everyone says
It's like
certain
hydro versus
strains.
bio.
No, but here's what I'm
You're trying to get me to
learning
pick a side right now.
from. No,
Yeah.
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not where I was going. The strain that 14er does for me, DJC, does not rosin well.
Yeah.
It BHOs well. So it leads me to believe that you can't really use a strain and then do it both ways to judge who's better. You can just decide. You can
I see, yeah.
learn which technique works better for that strain.
Yeah.
And overall, personal preference.
Yeah.
That's it. It is personal preference. We've had Mr. X come in with Telly, and there was one time, right? They made was it sour diesel with a famous? I don't know what the strain was,
Yeah.
but it was a famous rosin guy. We won't say his name.
Very
and
famous,
Telly,
though.
very famous. But they used the same strain, and now that I think about it, because I said to Telly, I
that
prefer the BHO.
Yeah.
It wasn't an honest test
Yeah.
because that's not, the processes are completely different. It's like going in for a broken arm and getting treated for strep throat.
Yeah.
You did totally different, they both happen. So I'm not down with the let's do one BHO and rosin, the same one, you tell me which one is better. We're going to just say which one is going to work better,
Yeah.
and then you go from there.
I've always been about like when we used to do hash competitions, at the cannabis cups, they had to we just wanted to, when rosin came out, just compete against everyone, just have an open hash competition. Because especially when rosin first came out, it's like, well, I can make shatter and butter and whatever the hell I want now because you can manipulate rosin. Whereas for the most part, nowadays they're whipping melt and it's looks like rosin pretty much. So there's other techniques now that are coming around to where you can clean up melt too, or 99% or whatever and stuff like that. But the textures and the consistencies were huge when rosin came out. You're like, oh, fresh press is shatter. I can make butters. You can even make sauce, with a rosin technique. So it's for me, it was I always just wanted to compete against it because I thought it was better, and I didn't think we had to make categories and things like that.
I mean, I like that's how I like competitions anyways, where it's just there's no, especially with flour, when it's
Yeah.
we're gonna break it down to sativa indica, and it's okay, that's cool if you really want to get into
Yeah.
the nuts and bolts like that, but end of the day, it's kind of what's the best fucking weed? That's all.
Yeah,
That's kinda
especially
what we all care
nowadays
about.
too with everything. I
Yeah.
think you were saying
Everything's a
earlier,
hybrid.
everything's like a
Oh.
hybrid now and bastardized. So it's
unless
it's hard to do.
unless you have an extreme.
Yeah.
And then they get really narrow where you're oh great, now everything tastes the fucking same. It's all terpenoline based because it's what they consider sativa.
Yeah.
Everything else is a hybrid.
Yeah.
And then you
Stores
got-
are still
and
so
then indica,
on that
Yeah, and then
classification.
Yeah.
I just dropped an order off yesterday, and that's what the manager wants to know. Is this sativa indica hybrid?
Man, yeah,
Look,
it's all
hard.
hybrids.
Fucking really?
It's all
But he'll
hybrid.
ask me.
It's the
He'll ask me.
opinion.
He's
You
like,
talk
I
about
gotta
the
ask him.
haze.
Dude, I
We
don't
have
know,
lemon
hybrid.
heads.
Yep.
We have Dolce Limon, and we have this Crash Glow. Those
Those
are
are
three I'd say are
definitely
sativas that we
yeah,
have. But everything else is hybridized to hell.
But
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
say it's a sativa, it's never grown for 85,
And who knows if that's
9,500 days,
is that an
right?
a
effect,
sativa, but
or
why
is
does
it
it
like
take
the
so
way it
damn
grows?
long?
Yeah.
I guess just didn't think it was.
I think it means sativa means a lot of
had to
different
be.
things to people nowadays. It used to be like the flower, like how it grew, and like the flavor and stuff like that. But now it's like the way it makes you feel. I feel like because like people ask that question because of like how they want to
that
feel
my guy
for the
over
most
there?
part. I feel.
Is that my guy?
It's a jug
I was just gonna mention.
Yeah, we
you,
got
dude.
jug
Little
dealers in the
jug
house.
dealer.
We were
Jug
talking
dealer.
about live
Fucking
resin
jug
versus rosin and how you would
Oh,
always
to get on
like
that.
an
Bring a
advocate
bowl of milk
that.
out for a cat.
HO in the house.
so much.
Definitely not a gas.
We're at the
station.
Emerald Cup. The first time I ever, well, only time I went to.
Yeah, when you went with me, that was a.
And we
fucking
go
awesome.
into a pretty famous brewery, the Russian River Brewery. We got the Pliny,
Pliny the
the Elder,
Elder.
Pliny the,
Yep.
and that guy's in there.
Buying the last 6-pack. They're like, no more.
We took back bombers to our house that we rented. Yeah, we had like
Good times.
that was a good trip.
Once again, when all that stuff was
Good
like
times.
super fun and a
Except
little bit
Ken's
different.
Arlo cameras went crazy because somebody had a police chase in his backyard.
Yeah,
Remember that?
quick story
We were
time
all
was
jacked.
everyone but me was on mushrooms,
Oh, shut the hell up.
and
We got some good mushrooms at the
it was
Emerald
like 12:30 in Cali time, so it was like 1:30 here or something, and my Arlo cameras start going off, and everyone's like, "Ooh, your phone's going off, man." And I like look at it, I'm like, "Holy shit! I think I'm getting raided." It was like guys, it was like police
SWAT
officers, like
everywhere.
SWAT with like AR-15s and stuff like at my door, and I had two dogs at the time, and they're like, I can see the window shaking, and I was like, man, this is horrible. So I called my neighbor, and I'm like yelling through the cameras, and I had my wife call the neighbor while she's tripping balls, and it was like, and I'm like, what's going on? Like with the dogs, like don't shoot our dogs, like you can walk in, whatever, like just don't shoot. We're like yelling at him, and everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? You know, like in the room. And it ended up that this guy got in a high-speed chase in the road like above me, and he like ditched and like hopped over our
In his
fence,
yard.
and like they thought he was in my yard or something like that, and I didn't get raided.
Perspective is
But, yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Wherever you're
Yeah.
listening to that phone call changes everything.
Yeah, it was one of those oh shit moments, and I have had labs raided, you know, in California and stuff like that, unfortunately, but I wasn't there, so it was just like, again, you know, I was like, no way,
Oh,
and it was
fuck.
such a good day, and like one of the coolest days
That's
we've
badass.
had. Yeah, like it was.
And
so
the funny part
cool.
is, like, luckily you weren't tripping, but usually when you are tripping, those are those things that where you're like, everything's cool, and then you get this thing, and you're like, the whole world
Yeah.
just collapses in front of you, and you're like, no.
Yeah,
I bought these mushroom chocolate bars
What?
at this random booth that was, you know, I don't want to say the name,
Yeah.
but a very prominent like production or
It's
you know,
kinda like how it is
cultivation
now. They were
company in
just
Cali.
selling it, yeah.
And my buddy's like, go to
Shout
there
out
and
to
ask for
Dragonfly Earth
so-and-so.
Medicine. my
$100 for this chocolate bar, and we were all just like gonzo, dude.
Yeah. Good
Yeah,
times.
it sounds like one of the
That's
holidays
funny.
here when Adam used to ask us to do 12-hour shows, and you,
There was-
you had to make it through some.
That was the way.
Shit.
So what year Emerald Cup was that? Because that sounds like the same year as we were there, probably. Because
yeah.
there was one mushroom year.
the Mitch year?
I think it
that
was
was
a single source year, so maybe 18.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
that was
right?
the, I
Or
think, yeah, that
no,
was the year, right?
17. No.
Ken got invited to Ego Clash, and we had
That's what you
Okay.
should do. Talk off camera.
Yeah,
so that
don't you know how
we all
podcasts work?
stop.
Yeah.
No, we're
No,
gonna
because he
schedule-
edits
I
his
produce
show.
a show
yeah,
with
he
you.
edits. Oh, he's an editor.
I
I
want-
forgot. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
We don't do that around here. We don't do
Raw.
that shit.
no. Ken got an invite to Ego Clash, and we had Poontang Pie, right?
Oh,
We
nice.
had like a poontang.
You
pie
too?
mix,
Oh, yeah.
And we got stuck
Oh.
in traffic and didn't make it.
Oh,
It was
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
so we just
shit.
went to Russian River and met Gabe and had fun.
Yeah, it
There
was
you
fun.
yeah, we were there the year before. Year before was a big mushroom year too, man. That's when we
Yeah,
lost
a little
Mitch.
bit.
We lost Mitch there.
Uh-oh.
He was gobbling him down like fucking
was
potato
MIA.
chips.
I
It was
don't
the
think
last
he
thing I
would
saw.
say it that way.
No, he had he
Gobbling them down like potato
He had his
chips.
bag over his head and he was shaking him into his mouth.
Oh, God.
That's when you know you're
one way to
tripping
do it,
hard.
yeah.
Like you're going
Yeah.
in deep. And I was like, all right, see you later. And then it was like, that was it. We didn't see him for.
I don't recommend
never came back on
not
the
being
show.
the only guy
But he was
not on
aight.
mushrooms either. It wasn't. Not
No,
that
it
it
was
wasn't
perfect.
fun.
I've
but-
been
Perfect
both.
moment.
I've been
Yeah.
both.
Hey,
Yeah.
best moment to not be on mushrooms right there.
When the cops are-
Yeah, exactly.
we gotta
yeah,
talk to the
yeah.
cops through your camera system.
They'd be like, are you on mushrooms? You'd be like, no, the cops are on mushrooms.
No, that's when you call your neighbor and go,
Yeah.
you can see the cops in the backyard, right?
Yeah.
They're there. There's somebody
not
there.
something
There's
I'm
lights there,
imagining.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. No, don't shoot my dogs.
Yeah.
God.
That's all I was worried about. I was like, take the
Fuck.
fucking weed or whatever you're looking for.
At least you didn't say that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
At least you were like, take the
exactly.
weed. What weed?
Wait a minute.
Well,
Where is it?
They came back. They came
Where
back
was this again?
the next morning, or no, it was like yes, it was out of town. They're like they're coming back in town this day, so they came that day when he came back in town, and they're like, "Tell me you have a camera in your backyard," and I was like, "No, they have like, but you have 5 on that." Everywhere else, you don't have one in the back. I was like, no, the one that's in the back was inside, and that's how I saw the dogs freaking out. So it was like they were so mad, like, because they're like, all these other ones don't matter. Like, we want to see him hop the fence. And I was like, no, I don't have.
So we never caught the guy.
Yeah, it's like, even got one in my grow, but not in the backyard. Sorry.
Damn. Thank
Well,
you guys so
were-
much for coming today. This
Yeah.
has been an absolute
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah, you guys are
Thanks
fun.
for having
Yeah,
us.
you guys are great podcasters.
Oh, that was a good.
This
is
for
your first time,
for
huh?
your
Yeah.
de-virgin.
Really?
First time, yeah.
It's all downhill from here.
Now you can go on. Now you can go on the. You can't actually go on the
jugged
jug.
up.
No, you're not allowed to go on there for.
No,
6
he
months.
signed the release saying
Yeah, we
until
have
the
a-
end of time,
it's
no
like-
more
Oh,
podcasts.
damn.
It's like
Sign the
it's
10,000
like
year
when you play at
release.
Red Rocks, you're not allowed to play anywhere else. You know, there's no deal.
Yes.
Same deal around
Yeah.
here. No, it was awesome. Feel free to come by anytime.
Yeah.
So wait, let's just get the business end down. How do people find your product in Colorado?
Well, we're in a lot of medical shops and recreational shops. We don't really have a locator like we wanted.
Yeah,
to
we
have.
don't.
It's like
we don't have a
drop
fancy
locator,
website with
so
locator stuff, but
mostly it's just staying on our IG page and like seeing where we're at or knowing what shops carry us. But
Got it.
you list off your favorites.
well,
Like Lakeshore for flowers. one of
yeah,
my favorites.
Lakeshore, Reefer, All Greens, CHC, all the 3 Colorado Harvest companies. We're big in the springs. We've got a lot of great shops in the springs.
We started medical. so
Yeah,
have
we
a
were
big
medical for
Hell
years.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Buku Loud,
Single
shout out to
source.
those
Buku
guys.
Loud is
Love
it.
them.
They're awesome.
Elevations, Green Farm 2, Kika
Indico.
Kush, Indico's our homies down there. Yeah, so
They're awesome.
yeah,
Everybody.
those are all good places to find us.
And
Yeah.
what's your Instagram page?
Just at Single Source Colorado.
Yep, check us out.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Ken,
thank you,
Tony,
thank
I
you.
thank you so much. These are all goodies for you guys too.
You guys
So
enjoy all the goodies.
Oh, great. Now,
Thank you.
if you have any questions about anything, just let
It
us know.
stays on this side of the table,
don't
right?
leave him on
Don't
there.
even.
We
Do
know
you
how
see
these.
this?
You'll
No,
see.
the only thing
he's
I
gonna do
grabbed
one
was
of these.
this. I just grabbed
He
the
grabbed
pen.
the fish whistle.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll divide
liked it.
everything up.
Nice.
I feel I'll be treated.
Sorry we didn't
fairly.
bring a third fish whistle.
I want the bottom
Actually,
half of that fish whistle.
Bottom half.
Took me years to get to mine.
You didn't get one down
They're
there,
fun
did
for
you?
the
You
car.
already know.
I got
things
one
just
for you.
won't make
Yeah.
their way to me, Tony.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, check
Awesome.
us
Well,
out
thank
if you
you
like
guys for
quality.
having us.
sure.
Yeah.
Single Source Colorado or Single Source on Instagram.
Yep. Single Source Colorado on Instagram. Yep.
Okay.
That's awesome. And yeah, we'll keep our eyes out for you. And if you're,
And
we
this is-
do. So not this Sunday, but the Sunday after, we're doing a farmers market out here. So
Oh.
feel free to
Oh,
come on
cool.
by and
Yeah.
Nice.
promote your brand.
What
whatever.
day? Sunday
On
what?
Sunday the 26th.
Oh, I'm gonna be in New York.
Oh,
Taking the
Well,
fam out
y'all,
to come
yeah.
Check it out.
Are you flying in?
And
Where are
you,
flying
I
in?
pray your
JFK.
healing comes along
I heard
that.
smoothly.
My boy,
Thank
I want to go to LaGuardia.
I'll have to
Yeah.
come up with a better
I got
story like we
$600
talked
I
for
about.
the 5 of us. So,
Yeah.
hey,
Oh, that's a good one. That's
Everyone's been
It'll
like,
work out.
that's the lamest. You just fell down a step, So
Yeah, you
better
gotta-
story next time.
Got to come up with something exciting.
Yeah.
And I was on the back of somebody's BMX bike when I was a kid, and that seat post went down like this. I fell
Oh,
off
you
of it,
fell,
and I
yeah,
was
the
holding a
loose
sprocket in my
seat.
hand, and I gouged this kid's leg, and
Oh shit.
and then it looked like 5. So he was like. Made up all sorts of stories. He's like, for years, he was like, dude, that was the best scar I ever had, dude. I used to tell, Tiger got me, or you can make up all these stories because it
Yeah.
looked pretty fucking vicious. It
Talons.
was like five perfect lines across his leg.
That's awesome.
But I dug into him.
Well, I'll come up with a better one for sure. But yeah,
All right.
thanks for having
Thank
us.
you guys.
Right
Oh,
on.
yeah.
You take our tips with us.
Oh
Yeah, those
We
tips
got
are
more for
yours.
Just the tips.
Sure, there's more. somewhere.
Exactly.
And
Mark your
you heard
career.
all about them here at So High Cafe, where we record the Adam Dunn Show and Sports Fiends podcast, 4300 West Alameda. Come get some barbecue.
Oh,
check
yeah,
out
you
the
guys should check out the
taqueria.
barbecue before you go.
Okay.
Too.
Yeah, we'll get some tacos. They
I
got
have a
tortas,
feeling
they
Tony
got
might like a good barbecue every so often.
Smoking yard for lunch.
hamburgers. They got all kinds
Well,
of
we
stuff
got-
over there.
You
so
really
check
do
out the
have to
full
try
menu.
his barbecue. It is
Barbecue
out of this world.
And taqueria. So
and
you
the way he's paired his meats with the taqueria, it's like
Yeah, we
a
get-
match made in So High.
Check it out.
yeah, it's like, oh, you want some brisket on that taco? It's like, fuck. Well, that just upgraded
Yeah,
that a little bit.
that was awesome. Yep.
SoHighCafe.com. Or is it SoHighCafe.com? But it's at So High Cafe on Instagram.
It sure
comes
is,
up.
Dave.
It comes up on Google Maps.
And
as
also,
well.
he got
As seen in
recommended.
Westward.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Westward
Westward.
again.
I know they got
Yeah.
updated. They're
I
really
saw that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
They're
Vinny.
digging. So,
They're-
So High Cafe.
check it out.
Ozo Coffee.
OzoCoffee.com, the best coffee I have had in recent memory. You go to OzoCoffee.com.
As
you
in
enter,
this morning, you mean?
oh, yeah.
As
Done
in this-
deal
Every day.
2025 at checkout. They had their annual latte art competition last night, so you got to give these guys a try. The only place to get it in Denver.
They were definitely doing the unicycle thing with the mustache.
Oh, yeah.
They were 100%.
100%. The only place to get it in Denver is right here at So High Cafe.
That's right. Oh man, I've been Ozo-less for the past like 2 weeks. I had the first.
Really?
Did you
cup
grab some?
today.
You all jittered out now.
Oh yeah, it was good.
Drinking
I
all that
brought-
greasy,
It is.
drinking
when
all
you
those greasy
haven't had it for a little
Yeah,
while.
I've just been drinking crappy like
Greasy
hospital
beans?
coffee
Oh,
I-
and like Dazbog and crap. Yeah, dude, it's real bad. It's not good.
We're sorry.
Oh, dude.
BuildASoil.com,
Smoking bad weed
855-877-SOIL. Just go to their website, enter Done Deal. That's all you need to do. You can call them if you need to, but right now we're integrated into the website.
We are integrated.
Yeah.
It only took 10 years or something, right?
BuildASoil.com.
BuildASoil.com.
YoTip.com. Check them out. We already brought them up earlier, but
we
we use
appreciate
them
you, Jesse.
all the time. And
They're so handy, right? You're
shouting
gonna
them out.
reuse that.
You absolutely
Yeah, those are
are.
Hippie Lip's a thing. We're coming up on the season of Hippie Lip.
It is the season.
don't
of
get
the
hippie lip. YoTip.com.
Pom-pom.
Conbud.com. Check it out.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah. If you're in New York, you need to go check these
You're
guys
gonna be
out.
in New
Especially
York.
on a. Oh, yeah.
Next week.
There you go. Go to our new buddies over at Conbud. And if
See,
you're
if
there on a
it's a-
Saturday,
Danny Danko.
Danny Danko will be working the counter. You
Oh,
go
yeah.
up and harass his ass.
Tell
World
him we
famous.
sent you.
Go up there looking like you're really mad.
That guy's worldwide.
Ask for
Slam
him.
your fist
Whoa,
down.
hold
and
on,
go,
hold on. No,
How
he's
come
a
I
banger.
need to be on
you
your
do
show
not
and-
want to piss him off.
Oh, no, but
you do not.
he's
No.
on his first podcast now. In 2 weeks, you said you're going to be
Oh,
there?
yeah.
No, next week.
Oh, next week. So you
Yeah.
have to wait a
Get
week,
the
and then you get
fuck
allowed to
outta
go on a
here.
My
show.
boy
'cause-
Robbie that's out there, though, just talk to him somewhere at the.
Oh, nice.
What they just have out there. They had something big out in New York.
Oh, the
They
Hall
didn't-
of
they-
Hall of
Flowers.
Flowers.
Oh,
Hall
Hall
of
of
Flowers.
Flowers.
He
Yeah.
talked to a bunch of
Yeah,
those guys.
go in
Talked
there
to
on a
Ricky
Saturday.
Williams, the football player.
That
Ricky
makes
Williams.
sense.
Yeah.
That totally makes
Wow.
sense now because my
Cool.
friend
Nice.
hit me up and she's like, "Oh, I'm at the Hall of Chads," and I'm like, "Where?" and she said, "Oh yeah," and then I was like, so I was thinking, "Are you in California?" And then I was like, "Oh wait,
That's
now
right.
it totally
yeah.
makes
Didn't know
sense."
They had one in New York, but they did.
Okay, yeah, she said it was
Conbud.com.
Hall of Chads. That's what she called it.
HolosHealth.org, MMJ cards, and microdose mushroom therapy. Get the done deal.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Dabx.com.
Jab
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I talked to the guys at Kai Cannabis about DabX today, and hopefully they'll figure out a way to do some business with them. But it is one of the best dab rigs on the market, especially if you're sitting with several people and you want to take dab after dab after dab. And if you don't want to clean your rig and use half a pound of ISO or half a liter of ISO, you get a DabX Go
200 Q-tips.
shipped to your house with a cleaning kit for $159 if you enter Done Deal at checkout at dabxgo.com.
You quite
I
literally.
tell people it's like the prototype of dabs.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's like
With
totally
the
that,
carrying
you know,
case
because they're
and
like,
everything.
Yeah.
And it allegedly fits in a cup holder. So I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
But dabx.com.
Now we're talking.
Good stuff.
Drive responsibly.
HeartandSoilProject.com.
All you need to do is go to their
they're
website,
wonderful.
you enter Done Deal at checkout, and you will get, I believe it's 10% off. You want to use his CBD, especially if you have a pet. You need to be giving it to them long before they're getting old and showing signs of aging, and this will keep them young. You go to heartandsoilproject.com or Heart and Soil Project on Instagram.
14er Boulder?
I love these guys. That's the strain that made me walk in the door. Okay? And it's on the shelf right now. So you go to 14erboulder.com, enter Done Deal at checkout. The Done Deal might not be working right now. They're under a new organizational structure and they're just trying to figure out their discount codes again. It doesn't mean you shouldn't go there. Okay?
No, they're
a
great.
great dispensary.
It's awesome weed.
14erboulder.com. And you got to try those little sippy pens. You took one out of the pocket. Oh, no, that's the lighter. See, it looks like that. It's that small. 14erboulder.com.
Grovebags.com.
Look, I've been saying this. I'm waiting. I really want Lance to call me up one day and go, stop telling people to call me.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Because
We
too
need-
many people
We
call.
love them. They're
okay?
great.
You go to grovebags.com. If you are a company and you need bags, I would look no further. They are the plastic glass that you need.
Turplock.
They changed
So
the
good.
game
Have
for
you
you.
ever used these?
I'm finding now that I'm getting my house organized,
I'll get you all
bags
some
of
to
weed
try.
that you've given me that are years old.
Yeah.
Okay?
So old.
You go to growbags.com
Keeps
and then
it
you
between
call them.
58 and 62 on point because it's like 7 layers of plastic, so it breathes. If you need, like, it literally, if you take it to New York, it's gonna keep it. It's gonna keep it from, it's gonna keep it like because there's moisture coming in.
Like environmental
And then you bring it to
Why is
here.
my
and it's gonna
weed
keep
all
the-
wet?
Exactly. And then you bring it to here, and it's like
Damn
keeps
it.
the moisture in.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
definitely.
like a
It
smart
locks
bag.
it. It's
Has
great.
nanites in it, man.
Nano. It's
All
nano.
kinds of
bag.
sizes. Check them out. Grovebags.com.
Yep. And the bin liners are really good from them too. So you do your 27
If you ever need a greenhouse, guys, look no further. They're the Rolls Royce, the Lotus of greenhouse. They design greenhouses for any climate in any state here in the United States. They make them single wall or double walled, and if they're doubled, all the mechanicals on the interior side. So if it snows, it rains, whatever you're keeping out, it's not going to interfere with your mechanicals. We interviewed a grower on the show from North Dakota. It was minus 70 degrees outside for 3 days.
Wait, they have growers in North Dakota?
They do now. It's legal.
Okay.
50-mile-an-hour sustained winds
for those 3 days.
for those 3 days.
Wow.
Never changed from 72 degrees inside the greenhouse.
Wow.
But the bonus, even though you're going to get 5% off your greenhouse, show them the brushes, Mark.
The brushes are
A
spectacular.
pack of
You ever
10
use
brushes,
You ever use
free.
trim brush?
They changed the
checked
website,
them.
and I forgot where they are now.
They're there. Come on, you can
man.
find them. Come on, keep going. Keep looking.
Anyway, you'll get a pack of free for free.
You get a
That's
10
cool.
pack. You get a 10 pack.
Nice.
No, but they really here they work great. Like
That's how,
Yeah,
like,
'cause
our best
everything's so
trimmer,
dry.
Holly, she's got, like, this flick technique,
That's
and
it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
showed it to her, and she was like,
yeah.
she didn't ask to, like, get her whole set of them, but she said she'd check it out.
Well, the thing about them too is that
They're
when
great.
you look at them, they're rectangular. Each
Oh,
one.
there it is.
So each
Yeah.
one is rectangular, right? And they're stiff enough that you can use it sideways a lot. Like you don't need to. You're not really brushing down like this. You
Oh,
kind of
okay.
use it sideways, and they probably exactly what she's doing anyway. Just like tap tap tap
Yeah.
tap. tap.
This is what your weed sees right here.
Yeah, there's your weed.
There you go.
The view.
Hortitechdirect.com. Tell me you heard about it on the show.
I was totally not a believer at first, and then
Mm-hmm.
I was like, once I had I used it on the right weed, right time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
timing's everything.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Remember when
now
he
I
came
get it.
in, Mark smiling. We've been cracking on it for years,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden he walks in. He's like, guys, I'm just
They're actually pretty
they're
good.
pretty fucking good. Okay?
Great.
I'm
What
just-
is
this?
I'm
And
just
then he
fucking
was
saying.
laughing about how at the grow everybody's like a fucking Picasso now. Everybody's like painting. It was
Every
so
grower is
fun.
like that
Funny.
way, though. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's like scared to change. The littlest, tiniest things, just like that.
Hortitechdirect.com.
You should buy a $40,000 greenhouse just to
Turf
try the
wipes, these are
brushes.
spectacular.
Turpwipes.com
So-
/done deal.
You all have that messy stoner in your life,
Yep.
okay? And the messy dabber. Turpwipes.com /done deal. These things are an absolute must-have. You put it together with the Dabex Go, you're pretty much set. You don't need 9,000. You don't see a Q-tip anywhere here, do you? And it's an amazing product. So turpwipes.com /done deal.
Numbnutsco.com.
I like this stuff.
Adam
Yeah.
Weiss
Yeah.
is
Adam,
crushing
my
it.
G.
He
Isn't that our boy?
Yeah.
Nut
See how
butter.
happy Tony got when he saw
Yeah.
peanut butter? He was like, "Holy!"
I'm
My
hungry.
dogs, because I give that to my dogs.
Oh,
My dogs do this.
yeah, yeah, I know
Oh,
you're,
it's
I
for
know
the
you're
dogs,
dipping in there
Tony,
once in a
sure,
while.
yeah.
Every now and then.
Numbnutsco.com.
They have a new product too, which is their cinnamon almond butter. It's really
Yep.
good.
Oh, nice.
It's super.
And it has like CBG or CBN or something.
No, 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 no.
CBN.
That's-
Oh, that's the other
that's
new
the other
product.
new
That hasn't
product.
even come out
Never
yet.
mind. Oh, yeah,
That's
that's
not
the
out.
top secret.
Fucking guy, man. Now we
we showed up.
have to edit.
Ugh, we told the secret.
No, no.
No, but Adam Weiss has
You're
been
going to have to outsource that.
figured out
Numbnutsco.com.
stone.
Done
That's
deal
just
at
like
checkout.
stoner. That is like so stoner friendly, right?
KayaCannabis.com.
2 locations in Denver. I put these guys with you. They are boutique connoisseur growers. They only have 2 locations. Their flower, even Katie didn't even
I was gonna
recognize.
say if you guys aren't in there, I'll introduce you.
Yeah.
Nice.
right.
Yeah, we're right.
Thank
Our grow's
you.
right around the corner from their store.
Oh
love to
well,
be.
yeah.
Hell
They
yeah.
they want to meet you. They are just doing something. They really go back. You were talking about Green Dream, with Travis and Reed.
Yeah.
This is Truman Bradley's original location, Southwest Alternative Care, when he started it.
okay.
So the OG-ness goes way back. So KayaCannabis.com. Please tell them you heard about it on the show. You will get a discount if you shop online or if you go into the store. Just mention you heard about it here. Their rosin, I put it with yours. It is absolutely fire. And they are working with so many different Cold Cure Company and Oleo. I'm very impressed. And even Adam Weiss said he's going to get us in touch with the Oleo guys to have them come down and talk to us. So, kayacannabis.com. Tell me you heard about it on the show.
To be honest with you, that smells like pure gasoline.
So we all know that he closed his studio in Las Vegas, so it would be something
If you're
else.
in Maui, though, you can go hang out.
For everybody
Party-
out there,
party like a rock
if
star.
you're smoking cannabis right now, recognize that Jason is an OG in the industry, and he is kind of responsible for where we are right now because he was doing things back when he got arrested for making bongs. He served time with Tommy Chung just for making glass bongs. And people were worried about getting arrested for possession of cannabis. He didn't have any cannabis. He didn't sell any cannabis. It was an actual piece of art. So go to JeromeBaker.com, JeromeBakerGlass.com.
JeromeBaker.com.
JeromeBaker.com.
And buy a piece and tell me you heard about it from us.
Well, that sounds like a hot item.
Very legendary. I'm sure you had a couple Jerome Bakers. making a
October
thing.
deals are a scream at seedsherenow.com.
Hold on, he's
no
gonna do this
tricks, no
straight off
treats
the
for
cuff.
growers who want more. Breweries of the month, Skunk House Genetics, 20% off. Loud, potent, and packed with funky flavor. If you know,
If like
you
GMO,
grow.
There you go.
Flavor of the month, apple, crisp, candy, or gas. Every apple-flavored strain is 20% off. Autumn Terps never tasted so good. Heavy Days Genetics are back with BOGO. Buy one, get one free. Just add 2 to your cart, and we'll slash one down. Clone Deal of the Month. Buy 3, get 1 free, plus free shipping. Handpick your genetics. Grow your way. Clearance BOGO is on. Double up on fire strains at clearance prices. Cheap just got cheaper. Want free seeds? Join us on Instagram, seeds here now _seedbank_bank. Sorry, I missed that. At seeds here now _seed_bank. Wow.
Ooh, Vinny.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
That's that single
That was
source they
fancy.
threw
And
over
enter
there.
our giveaway, Winter's Score
locked in
Serious
over there.
Stash. Flash sales. Oh, they're lurking. Random drops all month long. Sign up for texts and follow us. Catch them before they vanish. October's for growers who want more. Shop at seedsherenow.com and stack your stash with scary good savings.
It's
Seeds
going
here
so
now.
good until the slack.
America's-
slack out of slack.
Seed
Black,
Bank.
black.
We love you, James.
Seedsherenow.com and iwantclones.com. Okay. And then get your cult jacket. That was weird. There's all
Yeah,
kinds of
you two are now in our cult.
So if you want to go to adamdunshow.com and you see that guy right there in the red, that was Mark. He was the model on that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
You buy a $59.99 jacket, and here's what you'll get. You'll get like $75 worth of seeds, right? A pack of seeds. They're like $5,000 depending on where you're buying them.
Yeah,
$1
$5,000.
million.
Billions.
Could
You
be
just
anything.
get a jacket. All you have to do is send a photo of you wearing it after it arrives, and Adam will send you a pack of seeds. James Loud.
Look at that.
will send you
Hero
seeds.
McConaughey joined us on Patreon already. He's
Look at
over there
that.
waiting.
It was painless.
He knows what's up.
What's up?
So if you want to hang out with us further, you go over to our Patreon page.
We got through everything.
We're going to be rocking over there in a little bit.
Just going to eat some barbecue.
First, we're going to go to a little snack.
A little
We'll be
snacky
back.
snack.
And then we're back.
Maybe Gummy Love will,
Um,
edit the show or
Thank you
something.
guys also once again for coming through. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Even
thanks for
hanging
Yeah,
through.
you were great. You were absolutely
Such
great.
an
I wouldn't have
honor.
never
Y'all
guessed it
are
was your
so
first
great.
podcast.
Like a professional.
Yeah, total professional.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, you didn't even break into the spiked water we left for you.
Yeah, shit. Oh, I
We'd be
know,
tripping
right?
balls if we touched that.
Yeah, totally.
Don't worry about that little thing.
They dosed us.
Thank you guys.
You make
Tried,
sure
we
to,
tried.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We love you all
Okay.
so much. Have
Thanks
a
for
great
having us.
weekend.
Thank you so much. Hey, and thank
Come
you
join
guys
us on
for
Patreon.
listening. We appreciate you all. Mark, Vinny, couldn't do it without you.
There you go, guys. All
Before you know it, whoops, you're in a cult.
right, everybody. Peace out. See you over there at the Cold Zone.
Nice.
Sup, Dave?
Well, that sounds like a hot item.